You're listening to another Woodshop podcast, the okayest podcast of its type. Your hosts are Daniel Dunlap of Daniel Dunlap Woodworks, Peter Kapar of Petrie's Workshop, and Braden Boakes of Little Bug Woodworking. You can find them as well as the podcast on your favorite social media channels.
Welcome to episode 207 of Another Woodshop podcast, the only podcast banned in California for violating Prop 65. Coming off a 3-day long taco bender, we won't charge you extra to drive in a fast lane, but we will tax you at a higher bracket if you listen in your gas-powered vehicle. Now, don't worry, you do get your money's worth, because this podcast is 2 hours, which is how long it takes you to get back on San Vicente and take it to the 10 and switch over to 405 North and dump you out of Mahola, where you belong, Devin. What's up, boys? Some of our younger listeners will not get that.
I love it.
Yes, it landed. I was so worried. I'm like, Dan's either gonna get it or not get it.
Oh, I got it. It's one of my favorite SNL bits.
Oh,
ever.
the California. If you're too young,
the Californians,
Sarah. If you're too
what
young
are you
to know
doing here,
this is,
Devin?
listen to the Californians on SNL, which is also the favorite thing to watch for a certain group of people that we love and adore.
Our patrons.
Yeah, no,
Perhaps.
say it. Question mark.
Oh,
But yeah.
sorry. Our patrons?
There it is.
Hey, speaking of our patrons, we got 4 new patrons. I had to count. There was a lot there. I had to stop and count.
We are almost to like two-handed counting levels right there.
We're not trash.
Yeah, we're getting there. We're getting
Are we trash?
No.
We got 4 new patrons. So I want to give a shout out to Heartwood Wood Shop, Jake Miller. Welcome back, Jake.
You.
Greg Walway of Platte Valley Woodworks. That sounds like a Nebraska boy. I might have to.
That was
I'm gonna have
Platte
to
Valley in
look it up.
Nebraska.
Yeah, the Platte Valley is very big in Nebraska. And speaking of Nebraska boys, we got Alex Adams from Type A Furniture.
Woo! Wait,
And-
no, didn't he change his thing? I think it was Hugh. He changed his name to Hugh.
No.
Oh, was that
You're
someone
getting
else?
ahead of yourself. You're getting ahead of yourself.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Don't do that. Don't
You're
do
getting
that.
ahead of it, Pete.
Well,
Settle
I'm
down.
Dan
Don't ruin
did
the
this.
joke.
Not to ruin it for our listeners, but Dan did the keep going motion with his hand, so I'm just stalling.
Yeah, I accidentally closed the tab that I had up,
It's
but I have it open now. So we're
Yay!
good.
Bring the
Speaking
fourth wall.
speaking of closing our tabs,
our VIP base.
They closed the tabs of our hearts.
Let's give a shout out to our VIP patrons. Jake Miller from A Sweet Shop or A Sweet Idea.
Back, baby.
Welcome back, Jake. Alex Adams from Type A Furniture. John Herbolsheimer from Living Lath Woodworks. Luke Bosworth from LJB Makes. Jared LaPuma from LL Builds. Tyler Booth from Temecula Yard Games. Fun fact, Tyler was at the West Coast Maker Meetup at
We-
Surfprep.
Finally got to meet him.
In
Yay!
the person, in the flesh.
He's real, guys.
I'm going to continue with Henry Luton from Manfreda Wood. Richard Don't Twerk from Scotty. That's Scotty Holland from Elevated Wood Design. Charlie Coons from Stubby K Studio. Hugh Janice. I think that is Matthew Abelman. Justin Frazier from Frazier Canyon Woodworks. Sarah with Rosie's Wood Shop. Jesse McIntyre from Sage Hill Woodcraft. Hey, another fun fact. We were
Yeah.
driving down the highway in California, and I saw a suburb or something that said Sage Hill. And I was like, I wonder.
Look at all those patrons.
Michael at Gillette Woodworks. El Jefe at Maker's Way.
That means the heavy.
Chevy versus Ram challenge accepted.
What's the challenge?
I
either one
believe that
can't pull?
is Victor from Whim Designs. The Mayo Packet from Nick Grimm Woodworking. Max and Alyssa and Ophelia, Reed of Reed Design Co., Matt Maynard from Patriotic Pines, Bill Burkle from WTB Woodworking, Justin Addy from Calvary Customs. Excuse me, I have to take a breath. Dorothy Dunlap from Patrick Kitzel.
She's a saint.
Dorothy Dunlap is a saint. Scott Shirk from Red Lake Custom Woodworks. Max makes out with Mindy Coons. Oh, Max and Mindy Coons are getting on the name.
Whoa. Heyo.
Max makes out with Mindy Coons at Stubby K Studio. Justin Bailey from Campfire Woodworks and Fort Ance's Design Co. I believe that is Kyle. Yeah. Thank you to all of our VIP patrons. Thank you to all of our patrons. We appreciate you guys so much. You help us keep this thing going. You help us keep this ship afloat. If you want to join the Meh Army, as we lovingly call it, go over to patreon.com/anotherwoodshop podcast and you can get signed up over there. We are really pushing to get more content out for all of our patrons. So go give it a look. Would you please?
Would give her a little peek see.
Give it a little look.
The first month is full price.
Yeah. And then everyone after that is also full price.
Yeah.
But yeah. But fun fact, every time you sign up, the first read, that's part of your membership. The next 3 for that month, free. They're on us, guys. You're welcome. Yeah. Very good. Also, you said Kyle Nance, and all I can think in my head is like, if my friends don't Nance, well, if they don't Nance, they're no friends of mine.
Well, they're no Nance of mine.
I never put that together.
You did that, and the song immediately just popped into my head.
Also, we can Nance if you want to.
I forgot to mention that Hugh Janus, which is obviously Matthew.
A nice Catholic name.
He upgraded from Loving Us Median Time to a VIP patron.
We did something right.
Matthew.
Ooh, he loves us long time.
But we're not going to talk about all the people that left in droves. We're just going to celebrate the people that joined.
They'll be back.
They always come back. Well, also on that note, I want to shout out our sponsors, which are our patrons this week. That's it. You guys are great.
That's it.
I just want to shout it out.
Well, fancy that.
This week is essentially the car that Ricky Bobby drives at the end of Talladega Nights. Just sponsored by me, except
sponsored by me.
VIP patrons.
Or it's like the Snoop Dogg speech. I'd like to thank me. You just shout some stuff out.
For being me, for putting in the hard work.
I mean, he's not wrong, honestly.
Well, before we get in, we're going to just do a recap of our Cali trip. I think that's on the docket for today.
What do you mean by Cali trip, though?
Oh,
what are you talking about?
But I do want to just shout out one of the big reasons why we were even in Cali, and in this week's Maker News, which I should have that audio queued up.
Good news, everyone.
There we go. Oh, that was low. Wait, let's try it again.
Yeah, that was low.
Good news, everyone.
Okay.
There we
go.
So
I can hear it.
I can hear it. So Makers for Saint Jude hit 10K in donations. And they're not done. They're still collecting money. The event that we're going to get into it was great. We've raised a ton of money. There's some great donations, but we highly, highly encourage you. This is all going to a good cause. If you can, please donate to Makers for St. Jude. The link is in the bio. Whether you can do $10, $100, $10,000, whatever you're comfortable with.
$1.
Listen, $1. I think, yeah.
Everything counts.
Every little bit counts, but every little bit is appreciated. It's going to a good cause. And Mike is just doing an amazing job putting this together. He's working his butt off. He is an Oma bro, unofficially. So yeah, it's a gray
Oma
area.
bro adjacent.
Honorary Oma bro, because he's just that much of an awesome bro. And just want to shout him out and Maker for St. Jude, because we wouldn't be in California this weekend if it wasn't for him. And I also do want to shout out Braden, who brought this good cause to Surfprep, over a year ago. and was like, hey, let's make a thing out of this. Like, let's work. Let's like, you guys should get involved in this. And Hannah and Surfprep were super awesome. They jumped on board. So the Surfprep event was just one small part of it, but they're doing amazing stuff. Makes doing awesome work, and go support. They're almost at their goal for the year, but just because we're going to meet the goal doesn't mean we're done. I mean, the research and all the help is going to keep going.
We're not even officially halfway done with the year, and he is very close to his yearly goal.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Yeah.
I remember being on that call with Mike and Hannah and the Sawdust Talk crew, and we were talking. Mike's like, you know what? I don't want to get crazy. Last year we did $10,000. What if we do 15? Let's get wild. Let's bump it up to 15. And we said, no, let's do 20. I bet we can do that. They are currently at $18,612 of 20, and I think they've got another $1,000 coming in. We're gonna beat it before halfway through the year, and the big events are all in the fall. So I bet Mike's gonna have to jump that up to 30.
He's gonna have to bump that goal.
We need to hit it by September, when September ends. So
wake me up.
But no, it's been phenomenal being part of it and seeing this whole thing kind of take off, because it was just an idea, that Mike was doing this alone. He's been making and selling his hard artistic, his woodworking. And every single dollar, not just the profits, like every single dollar he makes gets donated to Saint Jude. So he's been doing this on his own dime by himself. So I'm glad that the maker community is finally involved and kind of, stepping up to back him up a bit. So
yeah, it's
go
been
us.
real inspirational to watch.
Yeah,
go all of us. Like, we're crushing it, y'all. Good job.
Yeah, and I want to shout out one of the biggest donors of the event. And now I'm blanking on his handle. It was Tom, the guy that won a bunch of the giveaways.
The guy that won
Tom,
everything.
my nemesis.
Tom,
my nemesis.
So I apologize for not knowing your handle off the top of my head, but he donated a ton of money and got a ton of tickets and won a ton of giveaways. And at one point, like, because everyone's like, why does this guy keep winning? He did explain.
Explain the ticket situation before you go further.
Oh, so sorry. So basically, for it was $100 donation got you 20 tickets, or basically 20 entries into any one of the giveaways. There was a boatload of sponsors. There was a ton of sponsors that were there that you can basically, you put it in a box, they shuffle it, and then and you can win something. And Tom won a bunch of them, and he did explain at one point, he's like, I'm doing this like just so you know, like basically he does what Mike does, and everything he makes, he tries to donate in some way and donate his time. So everything he was making and all the stuff he won is just helping move that needle and make more stuff and do more things for the charities that he works with. It's really great. These guys got us super inspired.
He said that he had raised over $300,000 for charity.
Yeah, that's
and so
crazy.
he gave away, like, everybody shamed him into like letting them redraw one of them, and then the next one he won is when he explained all that. He's like, dude, this just helps me donate more money. I'm going to take it. Suck it, y'all.
And at that point, you can't blame him. I mean,
right.
No.
I was calling him my nemesis because I wanted to win one certain prize, and we won't talk about who won that. But it was all in good fun.
What prize was that?
Honestly, like, so let's get into the event. We'll kind of jump around the weekend, but one part of the event really, really sucked. Right.
For me?
Well, it sucked. I feel like it just was,
Oh, I see. I see what you're doing. I don't like it.
Was it the goodbyes?
Why don't we get into this later?
No.
Let's start our weekend.
I know exactly what he's doing. He's doing a play on words.
We're gonna get to that part.
He's getting under my skin.
Why don't we start?
Let's just collect our thoughts and get into this.
Why don't we talk about the California, Devin? Yeah. So let's kind of start in the beginning. First of all, I met Braden's wife and I met Braden's daughter. They're
real.
Are the most committed paid actresses I've ever met. They're really committed to the bit. And the running joke is, like, I did not know what either one of them like looked like for the longest time of our friendship. I think I finally saw your wife's YouTube channel like a couple months ago, and I didn't actually know what your daughter looked like until like 2 days before you were like packing a car for something. I'm like, oh, that's his daughter. It just looks like a tiny little Braden. Super blonde, tiny, and giggly. That's basically you. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much.
But it was so nice, like officially meeting them and just seeing you guys. Just at the airport, I instantly like relaxed because I had like a kind of a crappy flight. I saw you boys, and I'm like, I'm here, I'm home.
Yeah. It's always good to get together in person. I mean, we don't see each other enough in person. I see Braden a lot, but I don't see you enough.
Yeah, like the Zoom call is nice and all, but like,
Yeah.
I've genuinely been trying to make a Nebraska trip happen, and this kind of came out like,
Sure.
no, I really have. I was even like talking with them, like, what if I just like, there was talk of me surprising you this weekend, but like I can't now. Like,
It's Father's Day weekend. I wouldn't
I
be
know. Oh, it's good to know. I would have checked with Kayla if it was happening, but you know, it's nice to see each other because like we really only see each other 2 to 3 times a year, if that. So it's nice to do a catch up
in person.
Gotta charge up the old friendship batteries.
Yeah, exactly.
Couple butt slaps, couple kisses on the cheek. You know,
I could teach you.
Family.
I don't have to charge. Family. As Vin Diesel once said, family. So then
wasn't that Olive Garden though?
When you're here, your family?
Yeah.
I eat my pasta 10 seconds at a time or quarter mile at a time, whatever. So then we got in, and what's the first thing we do? Well,
Hug?
not first. Well, get tacos.
I got out of the vehicle. Oh, yeah. If you fly into Santa Ana and you like renting through Enterprise, this is a pro level tip for everybody.
Okay.
Don't rent at the airport. The closest Enterprise to the airport is like a 4-minute Uber away. It's a Mercedes dealership, and every vehicle that they have to rent is a Mercedes. So it doesn't matter what you rent.
Oh, yeah.
You end up in a Mercedes.
It was a swanky car.
We got to drive around in a Mercedes SUV all weekend. We were like celebrities.
It wasn't a letter-based car though. I was hoping for a G-Wagon.
It was an E-Wagon. It was an E series.
Oh, I was like, wait, was it electric? I had a moment of like, wait, was
boogie woogie.
When did you charge it?
I did ask for a G-Wagon, and the guy's like, honestly, I'd put you in one, but we do not have any for rent right now. Like, they're all gone. I was like, that would have been so cool.
Dang it.
But what's the biggest shocker about Cali going around this time? Because I haven't gone in a couple of years. So many Cybertrucks.
So many.
Like amount. I have seen one in all the time that they've come out in Jersey. I saw.
I don't think I've
5
seen one in Omaha
the first
yet.
Day.
Braden says he's seen one, right?
There's
but I haven't seen
2
one.
in Omaha. There's one that's still like the regular stainless, and then there's one that's wrapped in like a black wrap. But yeah, after seeing them drive around in California and seeing them a couple of
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere. I love a good weird vehicle. I mean, my Jeep is like neon green. I have no problem being noticed. But after seeing the Cybertrucks and kind of getting the views of like the build quality and all that, I'm actually, my reservation came up because I reserved
that's
one.
Right. That's right.
And I was super pumped. And honestly, I was super pumped when I did it because for the price point and like the features that you got with that truck, it was a no-brainer. But as they've built them, they've been having build quality issues. The price shot up. And so when my reservation came up, the $60,000 truck that I'd reserved, they're like, hey, do you want the $100,000 version or the $120,000 beast mode?
That's crazy.
So the King Ranch of Cybertrucks.
That's right. But yeah, just after seeing them, like they're kind of goofy and like hey, we slapped this thing together. I'll give it a couple years for them before I revisit it. So
I wish I had like FU money laying around because I totally would, just for the gimmick, I would drive it for a couple of years.
Yes, and the black one that he mentioned that's in Omaha that's wrapped, it's actually for a company. And the only reason I know this is because I went and picked up lumber from a different supplier a couple days ago. And one of the workers there was like, for some reason, Cybertrucks came up. I think they were talking to me about my truck because I just got it washed and whatever. They're like, oh wow, nice truck. And the conversation evolved into like Cybertrucks, and I was like, actually, I just got back from California and I saw a crap ton of them. And the guy that I was talking to just managed to grab a picture of the black one that Braden's talking about on
I like how it's the Batmobile of Omaha.
But so like it's a business. The person wrapped it and they put their business logo on it, which is actually pretty smart when you think about it, because
Oh, that
when you
turns
see
heads,
that
man.
Taking
truck,
pictures.
when you see that truck, you're looking at it.
I
So
mean,
like it's
but if
a
you want-
moving billboard.
If you want eyes on your business, though, you get a Ridgeline. Let's be real.
No. I'm
Easy there.
honestly, without
easy.
the jokes, think
No,
about it.
no,
That's actually pretty
yeah.
smart.
100%.
Think about it. You just said, I managed to grab a picture. Everybody sees the Cybertrucks right now. They try and take a picture.
Right.
Boom, logo.
The best part is, so this guy got a picture of it, and it's a Trust and Will company.
Oh, dang.
Yeah.
So by the
Ooh.
time you need it, you've probably already wrecked
It's
trying to take
too
that
late.
picture. It'd be really funny if it was for a MUD, like gas and oil.
All right. Anyway, I thought that was interesting. I thought I'd bring that up.
Oh,
But yeah,
Marketing.
So, but yeah, pro tip: take the 5-minute Uber from every
Yeah.
major airport to the closest car rental place.
I
And
mean,
you'll
I feel
save.
that's really true for any car rental at any airport. Like, if you can go just off campus,
Oh, it'll
Yep,
save
you're-
you
you're-
a
oh, yeah.
bundle of money.
It
a
saved,
kit and
it saved
caboodle.
us like $200 over the weekend. It was
Yeah.
bananas. Which
And we opted to rent the car because like it was going to be cheaper in the long run than getting Ubers every time
Yeah.
we need to go somewhere, and more convenient, obviously, because Braden had his family and everything. So yeah, it was just way more convenient and cheaper.
well, let's get to the important part. We got tacos.
taco,
Immediately.
tacos.
So, I don't like. I've gone to Cali a bunch of times. I've never been served so many double shell tacos.
That's a thing, dude.
I know it's a thing. I just like every time I go, I would not necessarily. Maybe I just leaned into burritos and other things, but whatever. But the double shell, it's a thing. Like 2 outside shells to anyone on
Yeah, the double
anyone not in
corn
California.
shell. That's a thing.
Oh, so good. That first place we went to, those
I
are
forget
so
the
good.
name of it. It was like TB something or other. They
Casa
had a long
del
name.
whatever, amazing food.
Yeah.
Casa del taco, burrito, enchilada, ramen.
Also, the pizza place next door delivered
Yeah,
To the taco place we were
to the
sitting.
taco place.
and the pizza was phenomenal.
Uh, don't come at me like that.
Gabby is a Gabby
It
is
didn't
a
look. It didn't look like
very-
it was Casey's quality. So
Gabby is a
it's-
very picky eater. She eats cheese pizza and chicken nuggets, and that is pretty much it. That cheese pizza she devoured. She was upset that we forgot it at the hotel.
Nope.
Dan,
Yeah, those tacos at that place, they were
fire.
fantastic.
Oh, and they served tall boys of beer too, which was amazing. Like,
And
you
yes.
can't go wrong with that.
And you boys made the rookie mistake. You ordered the biggest thing that they had on the menu, or
Don't
the
call me out like
the
that.
largest number of tacos.
I
It's
did.
like
I
you-
saved
it's like
my
you-
last taco. It's probably still in that fridge.
Oh yeah,
that I
the
left
3
in the-
taco platter, and then we had to go actually have dinner 2 hours later.
Yep.
But before we went to dinner, of course, we took a dun nap, a good one.
Oh,
I
it
turned
was
on the
such a
TV. I
good
put on
dun
a
nap.
golf channel. Me and Dan are out in like 5 minutes. We had a good like hour and change dun nap.
Thank you, Golf Channel.
Because
Appreciate
of course, all of us are terrible at traveling. We stay up till like midnight, 2 a.m. the day before the flight, and we have to be up at like 4 a.m.
you. Well,
'cause we're
speak for yourself,
dumb.
bro.
Oh, that's right. Dan took a garden gummy. It was probably out.
I took a melatonin gummy.
But
Gummies.
so then we had a little dinner meetup at Bahama Mama Yo Mama Tommy Bahamas, which is the full name of the
that's the
restaurant.
official name. Yeah.
Official name of the restaurant. So Kimani works for Tommy Bahamas. He does IT for them. He doesn't actually do the clothing part. And they have stores. They have restaurants and a couple different places. And it's actually like a swanky joint. So
It's
he got us
nice.
reservations. Oh, super nice. So he got us nice reservations, and all the makers meet up there. So Dave flew in, 3D DIY Dave as well. His flight was delayed, unfortunately.
How many people were there?
A good amount, like
I
Lindsay,
feel like 12
Eric,
to 15.
Joni Sprague is gonna be on the podcast soon, but she was there. She was awesome. I love that chick so much. And then Trey Studio. So JR. This is the first time we met JR, and Dan and I have known JR since like beginning of COVID. We're talking
Yeah.
like Clubhouse days. And beginning of Stoop. Like, I've known this dude for forever. He is 6'12". He's a big dude and gives the best hugs.
He's like,
I love
I
him.
think
so
I'm
much.
gonna start calling him the Mountain.
The mountain. No,
The Cali
JR's just
Mountain.
been like, he's been such a staple of our like little community that we all like chat in, and the Stoop and everything. And It was so nice to meet him. And then we met Ben from Condorosa Creations the next day too, but we'll get to that.
He's got a podcast or something.
But it's crazy.
too, I
Like
guess.
I stared at a JR and I'm like, dude, I've known you for 4 years. Like we know intimate details of each other's lives, and like this is the first time we're meeting. It's kind of crazy. So it was a really nice meetup. We had a great time, and the food and the drinks. I had the Bossa Nova Woodworks drink. Like that's actually what it was called, the Bossa Nova. So good.
It wasn't called Bossa Nova Woodworks. It was just Bossa Nova, right?
I chose to add words to it.
Okay. No, that makes sense.
You
That makes
had
sense.
the painkiller, right?
I had thanks to Joni's recommendation, I had a couple of what they call the painkillers, and they were doing the work.
Was
they
your
were doing
pain
the job.
killed?
It was getting killed. It was getting murdered.
Good
My
drinks
pain.
there.
It was good. It was good.
That crab pasta that Aretha and I were trying. We spent probably the 20 minutes leading up to ordering, going back and forth on like, okay, we should both order something different so we can both like. There's a couple things that look pretty good, and the gal walks around to take our order, and I immediately panic, and we both order the same thing. And I'm so glad that we did, because that crab pasta dish was just
Divine.
sexual. That's how it was.
What if I'm
I
pretty sure
had,
I
like,
got tacos again.
I remember
I
like
got-
raving about my salad to Dan like 5 times because it was just such a good salad, and I also just felt
I
good
think
eating it.
you were just
It's just
proud
like-
of the fact you were eating a salad.
I
You're
was
like,
like,
look at this, Dan. I'm eating a
Yeah,
salad.
I'm
like,
so
yeah,
healthy,
yeah.
but then also like it was
Wow.
just such a good salad. Oh, so good. It had a filet mignon on it, whatever that is, but it was so good, and it also had steak.
Yeah, I got fish tacos, I believe. Mahi tacos. It was really good.
So
You had steak, the tuna of the land, as it is, a California Omaha steak.
chicken of the sea, the tuna of the land. It really, I mean, like steak is the tuna of the land. Wait, are you fighting a bug?
Okay,
He's fighting a little bug.
What size is the bug?
this is a horse-sized fly. Gabby forgot to shut the back door earlier today. Like she just went out and was just
Shut the
like
front door.
doing her thing, and then she just came back, and we came back home from dinner, and I come down here, and it's just like just open back door. I'm like, what do you think this is, California? Like settle down. We have critters.
Oh yeah,
and
I
bugs
noticed
and
that. Like
stuff.
everybody's house that we went to, they just leave the doors open.
Yeah. Oh
It's like
yeah.
the-
Yeah. If you need a little spare change, just go to California, walk to any single back door, and you've got stuff to pawn. Like you're good.
Jeez. What do we do after that? I think we just went. We just straight up went.
We
Oh
just
no,
went
we had the Giggleathon.
yeah, we went back to the hotel to go to the hotel bar.
Right. A few
didn't
folks
happen.
a few folks went out and had drinks and were like, no, we're exhausted.
We're
We've been
tired.
traveling all day. So we went back to the hotel room for a while, and we had a girls fest.
Because it
fun.
was like at what 10 o'clock? It was like 1 o'clock my time, midnight your time, and we're so first of all 10 o'clock. We're going down to the bar. It is Friday night. The bar inside a hotel. 10 o'clock p.m. Cali time. They're like, sorry, we're closed.
Yeah, we got down there at like 2:05 or 10:05.
Like what the?
Like, oh, we're
are
just
you-
closing up. Like,
are you
what the heck
kidding
is
me?
this?
Like, come on. So we were like, you know what? We're all actually tired.
But I think that was a blessing in disguise, though. I think we could have got a little bit wrecked, and we would have been not so good the next morning.
We
No.
had like a 1 second thought of like, well, should we just go grab some beers and take them up to the room? And then
Nope, nobody wanted to
No.
leave.
no, we're not going anywhere.
It wasn't even
Uh,
a drive. It was the walk to the car. It wasn't gonna
Yeah,
happen.
Yeah.
no, hard pass.
It was that's a pretty long hike to the car, actually, from
It
our
was.
hotel that night.
So we sat in a room, Braden. So we had a wait. Best part. Mine and Dan rooms is ready, right? We get in. Mine and Dan's room is ready. It's a single twin bed. Me and Dan together. So
Yeah, we cuddle.
our room is ready. The chick at the counter goes to Braden like, we're getting your room ready. It's not ready yet. It's gonna be a room with a view. It'll be great.
we have Marriott status, so we
Yeah.
get the rooms with the view
the
fairly
nice ones.
frequently.
Yep.
So yeah, hey, we gotta get it ready. We gotta get it cleaned.
So we get into our room and it's like there's like a roof or an awning right in front of it. It's like you see the back end
it's a
of the
roof.
pool.
It's not an awning.
It's a roof.
That was a straight up roof. I mean, we could see old
Like
defunct satellite ditches.
Yeah, like the direct TV and stuff. But we saw like a little bit of the pool. It was a view of like the valleys or whatever, the mountains. There's valleys everywhere. But then Braden and Aretha get their room.
Hours later,
it is joined with the pass-through door to ours.
No, hold on. Pete and I are laying in the room, and you know the door that connects two rooms.
Yep.
That usually remains locked. Pete and I are laying there, and we hear this knock on that door, and we're like, "What the f?" And I go to open it up, and it's Braden. He goes, "Look at our room with a view.
Look at our room with a view." It's the same room. Such a good time.
So
that gal at the front desk laughed all weekend.
And we were downstairs, like 30 minutes later, she was off her shift. You were definitely her last customer, and she was like, "I'm gonna just lie to this guy. I don't care." But then
we did have a view. We had slightly more pool view than you.
So we had
just
one of the most fun night. Like the whole weekend was super fun, but that first night we literally sat in a room, me on my bed, Dan on Dan's bed, and Braden in the chair, and we all watched reels. Not even TikToks. We were all on Instagram watching reels, which were just getting progressively more unhinged. And we were sending them to each other.
Our algorithms, I cannot say that word. Our algorithms are a
content
mess.
creator. Yeah. I think it was because we were sending each other really weird stuff, so it just kept making it worse.
It still hasn't recovered. And
it was just like such dumb stuff, and we were wheezing. And the best was when you had you were like talking to your wife, Braden, right?
Yeah. The next morning, I'm talking to Aretha, and I'm all proud, like, "Hey, honey, we didn't go out, we didn't go get drunk, we were responsible. Like, we just stayed in.
We were adults.
We went up to Pete and Dan's room, and we were just watching TikToks and stuff like that." And she's like, "Oh, I know. I heard you guys giggling like schoolgirls, keeping me awake." I was like
couldn't breathe. Like we were all laughing so hard.
Oh yeah, I had tears numerous times.
Well, like, Dan, we've done that at my house. Like for Maker Camp, when you showed up a day early, we have a fire pit, and we all just like we talk, and then we're all just tired, and we just sit on our phones.
When we, for some reason, when we do that, we will send them to each other, and you'll be across the fire or whatever, and we just kind of snicker. We're just like, that's funny. But that night, the night in Cali, you're right, we were wheezing like, oh my god,
so good. Such a good time.
But yeah, you were right. They were just getting more and more just absolutely broken mentally. Like, we were scraping the bottom of the barrel of comedy on Instagram.
But then it definitely like dipped. Like, it took us to a different version of Instagram. They're like, "Oh, they're ready now." And it was some stuff where we weren't laughing. It was a lot quieter in the room, and I think we're all like,
they started getting real dark, like
real dark and weird.
We're
like, we're done. Good night, everyone.
It's no time to make 9/11 jokes.
All right, we're still on Friday. We need to move through the weekend. Anyways, so we got some sleep. The next day, we check out out of our hotel, and we drive through the valley. As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, we all know that line.
Yeah.
And so we drive through the valley. It was one of the most fun drives through those mountains too. Like, I wish I would. I think, Dan, you and I said the same thing. Like, I wish I could drive this. It just seemed like fun. It's just like
it's
wavy.
Super windy.
Was it Rattlesnake Canyon?
No.
Right past Rattlesnake Bridge?
That's what I called it. What was it called? I want to say it was.
Guys, apparently Dan is afraid of rattlesnakes.
The Ortega Highway between Laguna Beach and Lake Elsinore.
Yeah,
I believe.
Sure, sounds right.
Oh yeah, I have a healthy fear of like rattlesnakes for some reason.
That is a healthy
That's why he
fear.
lives in
Like,
Omaha.
There's no reason to not be afraid of rattlesnakes. They literally have the thing to tell you to be afraid of them.
Right.
Warning sign. But then we get to the surf. First of all, we're driving through some neighborhoods and we're like, where is this warehouse? And then we get to the warehouse, like, oh, this
suddenly-
is so nice.
Suddenly, some of the jokes that had been made sense.
Made sense. Like,
If
oh,
you
okay.
watched
it looks-
us,
That town has like it's got like a 50-foot paint job, if you know what I mean.
if you watched us on the live with Hannah from Surfprep the week before we went out, she made some comments about the neighborhood, and it all made sense.
Yeah, there was a lot of high socks. I couldn't tell if they were Chicanos or Gen Z. It was really confusing.
A lot of bars, a lot of Dollar Generals, you know.
By bars, do you mean like on the windows or just bars?
Yes.
Like where
Yes.
you go
all
consume.
Yes.
of the above.
I like how I asked Chad later, and I was like, oh, so like, is there like, you guys go in a lake? And he's like, no, you don't go in that lake.
Not that one.
The one body of water in the middle of the desert. And they're like, we don't use that lake.
To be fair, when we were coming down that valley, when we were coming from the mountain up down into the valley where we were at, when we were looking at the town, and as Braden lovingly called it, a 50-foot paint job, but we were like 2 miles away. It looked beautiful, and there were boats on that lake.
Oh,
and I
it
saw
looked
boats,
gorgeous
I
from
saw
far away.
jet
We're
skis, and I'm
recording
like,
videos.
This is gorgeous.
We found
Yeah, and
out
then
they
we
were
got down
they
there.
were Coast Guard boats trolling for bodies.
They're skimming the bottom. But then we got to a very safe warehouse district. Ironically, we were like threatened with the where the warehouse is. It was a super nice area. Seemed very
Yeah, it
nice.
was actually.
Yeah. But damn, that event was so fun to meet everyone.
Bussin'.
Ben from Condorosa Creations, another one that's like way too tall for how he is on Instagram. And just we met Ben and Debbie and the kids, and we've known them for 4 years as well.
Fun little story that I never shared with anybody until this moment right now.
Oh.
We're walking into the event at Surfprep, and I was tired of waiting for you guys because you guys were back in the car for something, and I just started walking in. I'm like, I'm done. I need to get in there. I need to get a drink. I need to get a taco.
You did
So
run ahead.
I'm walking into the event by myself, and I hear a woman go, "Oh my God, Daniel, it's so nice to see you in person." I'm like, "Hey, you," and she comes up and gives me a hug, and it took me a good 30 seconds to realize that was Ben Condorosa's wife.
Oh,
Debbie. I was
Debbie.
like- or
That's
Ben
just-
Conroy. Sorry, Ben Conroy.
Conroy.
So it was
yeah,
Debbie.
Ben Conroy from Condorosa.
Yeah.
Changed it up.
So like I didn't realize that was Debbie for 30 to 45 seconds. It was an awkward hug, but I don't know. I think I hit it well. So if she's listened to this, she'll know. But yeah,
And-
I felt like a bozo.
Before we get into the rest of it, I do just want to do kind of a shout out or a note. David Miller, one of my favorite people on the internet, was unable to attend because we found out his mom passed away the night before, and it was such a like we were all like we were in the room, we were all giggling, and we're like, oh, this is such a bummer because like obviously very sad event, and we didn't get to see David Miller, and he put so much work into that event. So
David put a lot of work into it.
yeah,
and
like
he was sorely missed.
So much behind the scenes stuff, and so our heart goes out to him and his family. Like they were such a big part of this event even coming together. And we love you, David. Hopefully you're listening to this. I hope he listens to this. But we love you, man. We wish we got to meet you. But we'll have to make another trip out to see you and give you a big hug.
I think there's a
wanna shout that
very,
out.
very good possibility we'll be there next year.
Yeah,
Very good.
we'll make it happen.
Once
99.99.
once the lawyers get done.
Yeah.
We'll see if we can sneak in. We'll just put on fake mustaches so we can get past that Prop 65.
The glasses with the nose.
Yeah. But the warehouse, the Surfprep warehouse, like I didn't know what to expect. So we get there. There's like food set up, there's some demos set up. There's DJ in like his own little truck.
He
There's
had like
giveaways.
a food truck, DJ truck.
Yeah,
slash
like
thing.
speakers were
That
built
was
into
like
it.
really cool.
Super
They were like
cool.
it was like a taco truck for your ears.
Oh, Dan, you'll appreciate this
There we
because
go.
it's tires related. The white walls on the wheels were literally stuck
painted?
on. No,
Oh, were they stuck
were
on?
like adhesive because
Okay.
they don't make white wall tires that big.
hmm
So
Okay, yeah, I've actually seen that.
and I gotta say, seeing how the butter is made at the warehouse, like
Churned. You mean churned?
churned. I'm sorry, churned. A lot of you gotta twist your. um, it was really impressive to see the production, and we got a cool tour from Hannah's husband. If you don't know, we mentioned Hannah before. Hannah is the person you talk to when you reach out to Surfprep. She is handling the accounts. She's one of the higher ups at Surfprep, and Chad, her husband, gave us an awesome tour, showed us around, introduced us to some of the staff. That there weren't that many of them there on Saturday. We actually got to talk to some of them on Monday. But it's an impressive operation. It's a really cool setup.
It is wild, especially considering that seeing what they were coming from machinery wise and how much they'd been pumping out, and then seeing the new machine was just, it's got to be such a night and day difference for them.
Oh yeah, they said what the new machine they have
like 20 times faster.
Yeah, it's 20 times faster. If you're wanting to know exactly what that is, I posted a reel and tagged everybody in it, so you can go to any one of our pages and see it.
It's the equivalent of like using those like letter templates for like handheld router to like you know, like the Dunlaps and like a number like the little templates to follow, and then just putting it in a CNC. That's the equivalent.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was.
It's crazy. Like it's so much less setup. The machine just takes care of all of it. It's cool. And all this stuff, that the packaging, the way they handle inventory, the way their R&D department, man,
it's so like a whole floor.
Literally, a whole floor was just research and development. Every type of sandpaper, every sander, everything ever made that is sanding related was upstairs, and it was crazy to just watch that. Like, whoa, this is cool.
Just because they want to compare their work to others, and that was inspirational, actually, that they care that much.
Yeah, and they cared enough to get us more tacos.
Oh yeah,
there were mini tacos. There were mini tacos. They were great.
Street style,
so good. Oh, my mouth is watering. I'm hungry again. But the event was a big hit. I think it was great. A lot of great makers there.
Yeah, we saw tons of people that we see at Maker Camp and see everywhere else. It's really cool to see everybody kind of come together. This was like the perfect time frame also. Like, we go to Workbench Con in the early spring.
Yes.
And we wait until like the late summer, early fall for Maker Camp, and we needed something there like right in the middle just to top off the cup. And this was perfect timing.
I need like a like November event or December, January event, something like that.
Christmas.
Like, we gotta like space it out, because I've been talking for years how we need an event between Workbench Con and Maker Camp. This is it, but we need like a winter one. But it's cold everywhere except the South, so we gotta go.
I got it.
What do you got?
We need a Maker cruise.
I'm listening.
I don't hate this.
Think about it. Like, cruises all things considering, cruises are relatively cost effective.
Cruises in the winter, though, are pretty sketchy. They're pretty rough on the waters.
Not if you go south.
Yeah, or we just lean into it and we go to Alaska. Like Alaska, or we get a Viking Lake River cruise, whatever. What that company is.
We should do like a cruise in like the Louisiana bayous. Like,
let's do a winter casino riverboat cruise in Omaha.
Or we get one of those like transcontinental trains. That's like you get a nice room and we just hang out, and there's one train that's just tools and stuff.
And then there's like these secret agent ninja fighters that are trying to kill you.
Yeah,
was that a movie that I watched?
Is this going to be like Polar Express, or is this going to be like one of those other ones? Murder on the Orient Express or something.
I was thinking more like the guy
Train?
that wears the 360 camera on his forehead when he like checks out the trains.
That guy on TikTok.
Yeah, he's all about and like, listen, we're all a little acoustic. We all love trains. Let's be real. Like, you see it, you put a train in front of any guy and he goes like, "That's nice. That's nice." You won't know what it is. You just be like, "That's pretty nice," and you just do a little fist bump with your buddy.
Is that an electric or a coal-driven locomotive?
Yeah, that's cool. That's nice. Yeah.
A diesel pusher.
It's a 300. Yeah, you can tell because it's the.
Get out of here.
300 on the side.
Because of the way it is.
I'm an OG train lover. I like the steam engine.
I like steam. Not about this electric stuff.
Dan saw the coal driver in Wild Wild West, and he about wet his pants in joy.
First of all, one of the best movies ever written.
Oh yeah, that one was
Yeah.
really shafted
Wild
when it came
Wild
to
Will
Academy.
Smith and a Spider-Tron. I'm wet just thinking about it.
Oh my God.
Well, speaking of being wet, so anyway, surf prep.
Our patrons?
So the event was awesome. It was a blast. Only part that sucked about it was
Here we
me
go.
winning the dust collector, and Dan.
Okay, no.
Really?
Hold on.
Thank you,
I want-
Braden.
we
Help me
need a
out
li-
here.
Oh, I'm not going to help you. You're not going to like it.
Oh,
We need a little bit more build up to this.
So-
So
Yeah,
we
go-
all buy our tickets, and we all basically put 2 tickets in like just some random stuff. Because to be honest, like we work with a lot of these brands. Like if we need the finish, if we need the epoxy, whatever, we can probably get it. So let's let some other people win it. The thing that we all gravitate towards is the Harvey dust collector, the big dual cyclone sucker.
what do they call it? The Gyro 700.
The
or something like that.
G700.
The Suck 7000.
Psychomatic.
Yeah, we are all like everybody, all eyes on that. I watch everybody rip off like 2 tickets and then drop the rest of them into that.
Oh, I bought $100 in tickets and put them all in that box.
Same.
All of them.
Except I put
It all
one-
went to a good
I-
cause, guys.
It all went to a good cause. We need to remember that. But there's a little bit of competitiveness that comes to raffles. And we hit this prize. This is the last one. This is the big kahuna prize. And you just watch, all eyes on Hannah and then Tyler Booth as he pulls the ticket and starts to read it off. And we all know, like everybody
Tyler's reading the
knows-
number. Like he doesn't have names.
And
Yeah,
he
no,
did the
he's-
tricky
he's
thing. He
reading the
read the
names.
first 3 numbers that all of us have on a ticket because there's less than 1,000 people there. So like he's like 922, and we're all like, oh wait, that's the one that everyone has.
And we all know, if you've watched any of Dan's stuff, we all know how he feels about his dust collector. Like secretly, I'm kind of rooting for him to win it. I also wanted it.
I
more.
was as well. I'm not
We're
gonna lie.
all rooting.
Well, why did you
And
put tickets in the box? then, Pete?
Let Braden finish the story.
And the number gets read, and it's just silence and you can hear the steam coming out of Dan as he's like doing the math to see if he has the number or not. And suddenly from the back, we just hear, I won. And it's our dear Pete in disbelief.
I don't win like nothing. Like I don't win anything ever. Like I genuinely like I have the worst luck. I actually was one of the people that like put in like 2 tickets here, 2 tickets there. Like, oh like, yeah, I could use more glasses. Like I could use like some of this finishes. Like I actually want to try those general finishes, the new stuff that they have. Also general finishes apparently has a Rubio competitor. Interesting.
Yeah.
So anyways, I like put in a bunch of stuff and all of it keeps coming up. I'm like, damn it. Well, like I'm definitely not winning the big thing. Like I wasn't
There's
I was kind of just like
tickets in there.
half listening. So I only have that because JR was nice. He gave us the full strip. So you have the top number and the bottom number of your strip if you bought the whole $100 whatever. So I was just like looking at the 2 numbers and they read the number and I realize that number is between these 2 numbers. But I don't trust my brain now. It's like somebody's like, hey, what's 3 times 9? Like, and you give them the answer and they go, really? And you question your whole life. It's the same thing. So I just start like doing math. I'm like, wait, it's 449. It's between these 2 numbers, but like, is it? And I'm like fumbling through them. And it's one of those like somebody throws a stun grenade into a room. You get the boom, tee, like the high pitch. Like that was my brain. And I'm just like, wait, I think I won. And I run up there and I think was it Temecula or was he up there? Like who did I hug and have them verify my number? I actually don't even know who it was. But like,
I think
please.
it might have been Hannah.
No, it wasn't Hannah. It was a guy. I'm pretty sure. And I was just like,
It was probably
please,
Tyler.
it was probably, I think it was Tyler. And I'm like, please check my numbers.
As you're walking up there, I turn and I just see Dan just swinging, and I'm
Dan,
like, "Oh no!"
I threw
Dan-
all my tickets on the ground. I was like, "F this, I'm out."
Dan
Dan-
gave me a solid, firm push of like, I was like, oh, should I give it to Dan? Oh, no, I'm not giving it to Dan now. Okay.
Oh, that was it. That was
Dan
was the
handled
kicker.
his loss with such poise and grace.
as I do.
As
That's
he
what I
is
do.
known to
That's what I'm
do.
known for. Yes.
But yeah, I go up there, I win it, and I black out. I think it says something along the lines of just like seeing Tom and all these other guys like doing all this woodworking and being able to donate their proceeds, their time, or at least push for one of these donations. Like it really like opened up my heart a lot. Like I started doing all of this because I found a way to engage with my community, help people, and like have a business around it. And I feel like because of like how crazy everything's gotten and the goals have kind of changed around, and I'm like, I do some of my business for the wrong reasons. It's just straight up for the paycheck or for the whatever, but like it doesn't provide that much good to the community, or it doesn't actually make me money that I can use to then donate my time or whatever. And like I was like, I need to refocus my business even more. It was another one of those clarity moments of like, man, I really need to like, I want to do something with this. So it was a nice little bit of inspiration to see Tom and obviously Mike with Makers for St. Jude, just like all these guys like donating their time or using their influence to drive traffic towards a good deed. And then there was Dan trying to throw punches at me.
But actually, I think somebody asked you, like, are you going to follow Tom's footprints and actually donate this? And you were like, no.
No.
So don't.
So
Pete's
one of the
not the hero that he makes himself out to be.
I'm no hero. I just want a giveaway. I like, and
he's a jerk.
You know,
He's a jerk.
Pete will
Pete's a
be
jerk.
donating one 3D printed item to charity. Like
actually, I was part of Makers for St. Jude. The giveaway was drawn, so I actually just packed up the order for the giveaway. So I was.
I actually have to do that tomorrow.
Yeah, there you go.
Reminding me.
Yeah, Mike just sent that out to I guess to all of us. But yeah, it was. Listen, for me, we've been planning to expand to a shop on a property for a while, and like I'm not getting rid of my Laguna. I'm gonna be putting the G700 in the shop. The Laguna is going to go into storage. We're gonna use it in the future shop. So like we're gonna have two separate systems running stuff because I just it's gonna be big enough where it could warrant it. So I'm very grateful. I know Dan's really mad. But
Yeah, you suck.
I'm really bad at receiving gifts. I'm always like, no, I'm like, no, please, no, take it, no, take it back, Mom. I don't want it. You know, but I'm gonna take this one.
He overcorrected on this one.
Who did? Oh, this.
You.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna just, yeah, I'll accept it. I'll take it.
Yes, I accept it.
Listen, I don't win anything, so it was really exciting. I'm really stoked.
You win our friendship.
I win every day that we do
day.
the podcast, except when you guys
Not
yell
anymore.
at me.
Not anymore.
Because an email
I'm
got
out.
sent to the wrong person, or not the
I'm
wrong
out.
person, but not all the people, and then you yell at me.
I'm out. I'm officially out. This is my
Dan's
last-
out. This is the last one.
What are we gonna do? Yell at Emma? No.
No. When does simply not do that?
We
I
don't do that
tried.
here.
I tried it. Does not go well.
But yeah, so that was the event, and it was so cool, and we're gonna keep saying it, but it's truly the people that make this community as great as it is and as much fun as it is, and it makes me personally, like, I just sit here waiting for the next event when I get to spend more time with these people. And you know, it's cool getting to see them, you know, with you, Dan and Pete, and, you know, traveling and doing stuff with the podcast.
Maybe the real raffle winners were the friends we made along the way.
That is true. The real raffle prize was the friend.
I wanted the damn dust collector.
I wanted you to get it so bad.
I need it. So my health is on the line here, Braden.
That's right.
I might die without it.
Yeah. Because, well, I mean, at this point, you don't have a HEPA filter. You've got a HARPA filter.
Clearly, it's Pete's fault, and he doesn't care about my health and well-being. So
no, but somehow we'll find a way to move on from this.
I don't know. It's gonna
dishonor.
be rough. It's gonna be rough.
But
I'm having a real hard time.
But it was an awesome event. I think by the, you know, and it was just the right length of time. It was like 4 hours long.
4 hours.
And it was hot, and we all had, like, there was all the drinks and all that, and like it was just long enough for us to all get feeling good,
feeling mellow.
But
to be fair though, like, it was hot, but it wasn't that bad as far as what I've heard of like California heat. It wasn't that bad. I think it was like 89 degrees or something like that. It wasn't awful.
Well, and as us Midwesterners would say, it's not the heat that'll get you, it's the humidity. And it wasn't humid. So but that was a blast. It was just long enough for us to all have a really, really good time, but it wasn't so long that we were hitting like 2 a.m. workbench con lobby
Right.
security
Oh,
levels.
could you imagine?
So
Actually, yes,
So,
I
yeah.
could imagine.
check out the Surfprep stuff. The way that they manufactured is fantastic, and it was so much fun going to the event. So if you have it, to quote Ferris Bueller's, if you have the means, I highly recommend you pick one up. That being a ticket to go to the event next year. So, but
I
yeah,
think it's
that was
definitely going to happen. I realize it's early on afterwards, but if this is the second annual, there has to be a third annual. I mean,
Oh yeah,
they're not going to stop doing this.
We'll make it
Yeah.
happen.
It's 3 strikes, you're out. So even if they wanted to quit, they'd still have to do the third one. So,
True.
and then that was the end of the quote work day. Then we moved on to the evening activities.
Yeah.
The part that I'm finding I really, really enjoy about working with Surfprep is it's really stereotypical to be like, oh, as a company, like we're a family.
We're a
Well,
family.
here's the thing about Surfprep. They actually are all family. You got mom,
like
dad.
literally.
Yeah, like they're all family. And they treat everybody like that. And that was fantastic. So we got invited out to continue socializing at Skylar's house. The Skylar from Surfprep, the owner. So we ended up going out to their house. Pete and I went and dropped off my girls because they are not extroverts like I am. They tap out of their peopling much quicker than I do, and they were done like halfway through the event. So we dropped them off. They got to go hang out at the hotel pool. Pete and I ran to like 4 different restaurants to pick them up whatever they asked for, because I knew that they were just going to be chilling and I was going to be probably inaccessible. So whatever they wanted, we made appear. And then Pete and I rolled into a kitchen full of makers, just
leftover tacos,
just silly on leftover tacos and Costco margaritas.
And the
Oh.
leftover tacos, it was just basically the same tacos that we had at the Surfprep event, and the leftovers were aplenty. I mean, and I wouldn't even call them leftovers. I mean, they were still
were
great,
fresh.
Yeah.
The only question I really had is, okay, I love cilantro, like I'm all for it, but I recognize that not everybody loves cilantro, and so you probably don't need to make as much. They prepped an entire like 3/4 of one of those giant aluminum serving trays and like a double deep one, packed to the brim of like chopped cilantro.
If you had to use a unit of measurement that Dan would understand, would you say it was a pipe of cilantro?
It was a cheese pipe of cilantro.
It's more of a tub.
No, it was quite a bit. That's the thing. Like, I saw some people putting cilantro on their on their tacos, like it was salsa. Like,
oh yeah,
it's a garnish. Like, but whatever. To each their own.
Now it's a taco salad.
Cilantro has a little heat. People like it.
What cilantro are you eating?
That's the whitest thing you've ever said.
It does.
Oh, this mayo's spicy.
Okay, now we're gonna look stuff up.
But
yeah, no. It's why do you keep your hot sauce in the fridge? Well, it says to keep it refrigerated. Takes out the bottle of ketchup. The bottle of ketchup. Yeah, refrigerator after opening.
Get out of my TikTok feed. But basically, I mean, like that whole afternoon was just us hanging out, BSing, getting to know each other a little more. Like Mary, the Skylar's wife, like Hannah's mom, like she was grilling us, like we were like. She was the dad and we were dating her daughter. Like that was the grilling we were getting. She was like, she wanted to know who we are at our core. And I don't know. Apparently the next day was a lot of hugs and stuff. So apparently she liked us. We passed the test.
I got to watch her brain explode as she
maybe
asked,
I'm wrong on the spice.
Shocker. The lettuce leaf doesn't have a lot of zest to it.
This lettuce is spicy.
But Dan, I got to watch her face as she asked you questions about Etsy, and as you explained just like the sheer ass loadery of volume that you sell on Etsy, and her brain just clicked to, oh, he sells on Etsy. Like he is
Yeah.
Etsy.
Oh, that's Mr. Etsy.
This is
You.
Mr. Etsy here.
You weren't Ohio. You were like California.
I was
But-
a California Riz.
It was cool watching them get to, they asked questions about Etsy and she asked questions about like the podcast. And I think that as we explained how the podcast is like kind of a part of our business, it's not just like for funsies.
Yeah, like other internet-based audio pleasure
only chat room lives.
rooms.
Yeah, I
Things
think they were shocked to learn that that's exactly how I make my living. You're like exclusive over there.
Sell on Etsy.
Okay, that's your main job.
So
That's weird.
it was a lot of fun helping them see like the side of our business, because we had just gotten done seeing their side of the business, and for them to be as interested in like our businesses after all of that work, I thought it was really fun to be part of. And I mean I love talking about what we do and like the stuff that the maker community does, so it was so cool that we got to just like continue doing that.
Yeah.
Until Dan runs up to me and like I'm in the middle of a conversation with Chad, Hannah's husband, and Dan runs up and says, "Move the car." I was like, "Settle down. Here's the keys. Like, just do whatever you want." He's like, "No, get it out of here. Like, move it. It's in the way." And I have no idea what's going on. But Dan, why did you need me to move the car?
Because Skylar Faria, he has rebuilt a 69 Chevy pickup. And this is one of the most beautiful machines that I've ever seen in my life. And it was sitting proudly out in his driveway. And I'm oogling it. I'm looking it over. Chad even raised the hood for us, and I was looking at it. It's got a swapped out LS3 engine in it.
Is that a Hemi?
It's got custom everything. This is just an absolutely
It was a sexy truck.
beautiful.
Also, it's the best year.
69.
Oh, yeah.
Very nice.
Both in summer and vehicles.
The bed of this truck was even replaced, and it, you know how on some older trucks they'll put in like wood slats in the bed. They did that with this truck, but they used curly maple with aluminum slats. Like, it was just gorgeous, all the details. So I'm oogling this truck, and I was talking to Skylar about it. He came out there, or I don't remember where this happened. It may have been in the kitchen. I was telling Skylar, I was like, your truck is absolutely beautiful.
Dan blacked out for most of this entire engagement.
It's my dream truck. I would love to have one like that. And we were just kind of talking back and forth. And he goes, "Hey, do you want to drive it?" And I was like, "Does the Pope poop in the woods?"
Yeah, I was talking with Skylar when you were like talking about the truck and whatever. He's like, "Do you want to drive it?" And just Dan's face was priceless. It was like he did the glitch. He did what I did when I won the giveaway. And then also Dan immediately forgot about the dust collector.
Oh yeah. I forgot all about it.
It was like the end of every single like teen movie, like where the cool dad finally accepts the son and is like, "Hey Dan," and then tosses the keys.
Catch.
Tosses the keys.
He wasn't quite at that level where I got to drive it by myself. He came along, but that was a really cool experience that he let me drive that prized possession of his. So huge
But
shout out.
Skylar is 100% the cool dad.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
I'm still in shock over that. That's a absolutely amazing machine. It's literally a dream truck of mine. One of these days.
No,
it was amazing.
It was such like I want to get to the point where I can restore an old car. That'd be so much fun.
Oh yeah.
That's one of the reasons I want the shop is so like we could like if we do like a project build, like it could be in there.
I was telling Skylar when I was 16 or 17, I actually bought a 1972 Chevy Super Cheyenne. This thing had
just come out.
This thing had a 454 in it, a massive engine in it.
Interesting.
And yeah, it was an awesome truck, and I had no idea what to do with it. And clearly I didn't have adult money at the time, so I never got to fix it up, so I had to get rid of it. But yeah,
He drove it to the levee, but the levee was wet.
The wet. It's too wet
I
to
drove
drive
it.
through.
Yeah, I drove it there and it died, and that was that. Anyway,
Well,
but
after
yeah,
Dan had his truckgasm.
yeah.
that's
So
that's a fair assessment. Truck
Yeah.
gasm.
when we were pulling up, because we pulled up after everybody, when we were parking, what did I say to you as I'm parking in front of the Chevy?
Oh boy, that's a nice truck. And
Nope.
end quote.
Yeah, something like that. What I heard in my head was, I'm going to park in front of the classic Chevy because there's no way that one's going to be leaving.
We 100% we're talking about that. We're like, let's park in front of that car because the other ones might move. This one's definitely not moving today. And then Dan's like,
Like
move
4 minutes later,
your peasant Mercedes, you pleb. Ridiculous. Well, after that, there was nothing.
I think Kimani has video of me pulling out of the driveway in that truck, and
Yeah, we're still waiting on that video.
It was weird. You missed a couple shifts, and it seemed like you maybe were, you had some confusion on which shifter to grab.
Heyo.
No, it was an automatic. I didn't have to shift anything.
It was a penis joke.
Yeah.
Oh, is that a penile joke?
It was a
Okay.
wiener joke.
Okay.
So you got to drive the Chevy. We lost Jesse Riggs, R.I.P. To the turtle
In
den
the
too.
eyes of an angel.
There's a video.
Go into detail about that.
So, the thing that Hannah has brought up is how she has tortoises and how Dave Miller has one of these like California tortoises, and Skylar and Mary apparently have like the California tortoises.
Boys.
Like they've got some big, like sit on their back and they just don't notice you're there sort of thing. So you meditate sort of thing. These are some big old Blastoise sized
Blastoise.
But apparently this is secondhand story to me, because Pete and I weren't there yet, but apparently right before we got there, they went out, the whole crew went out to go see these tortoises. And I don't know why. I haven't heard why, but for some reason, Jesse from Building Jesse ends up in the tortoise den, like head first, climbing into the earth, into the tortoise den. And there's video of her panicking as she gets in there and yelling, pull me out. He does not like me in here. And she has not been seen since. So Jesse,
This episode in loving memory of Jesse.
Yeah. Tortoise, if you happen to be listening to this, please send your demands. We want to get Jesse back from we can rustle up a couple bucks in ransom.
Also, I mean, speaking of Jesse, the beard.
The beard. Roberto.
Robert, her man gave the best back rub. I haven't he gave the best back rub. Like he found a knot in my back immediately, and then like I was in so much pain, but I'm like, this is for the better. It was man, so after we were kind of getting into literally the beginning of the night was like all of that stuff. But the whole night, and we don't have to go too far into detail because we all got pretty wily, but we had just an amazing time, like hanging out, chatting in the kitchen, swapping stories and eating some good food. Then we all went over to they had like a fireplace outside, made a big fire. Dave dropped a big log on the fire. That's not a euphemism. He just literally found a log. Split pieces of wood. He dropped the whole log.
No.
We were burning painted table legs, which is definitely okay in California.
Back up a little bit. So we ran out of firewood, and Chad, Hannah's husband, was like, hey, let's go look for firewood. And he took Dave with him.
We ran out of firewood for the gas fueled fireplace.
It's like the gas was just a support to keep the fire going. I actually like that setup. I'm not gonna lie. I
think it was just a support to get the fire going, and once you got it going,
because you didn't get any smoke, it just kept burning.
But anyways, Chad took Dave out, who knows where, because this is a huge property, and I think Chad came back with like one or two little pieces, and here comes Dave with this giant, massive log. Like Vic from the stump shop would have loved this piece.
Would have made a table out of it. Yeah.
Yes. And we're like, what the heck? And Dave just tosses it on. And
Well, because they thought
People
they were
were-
out of wood, and then they figured out that they had like a whole stack of corded
Right,
wood, like cut up.
and I think people were like, where the heck did you find that? Where did you go? Because like nobody knew where Dave went. Anyways, Dave throws it on the fire, and there are people sitting in front of the fire, like on the little ledge in front of the fireplace. And before you know it, that whole section clears out because the fire is just ablaze, and it's so hot that nobody can get close to it for like an hour or two. It was just
me
it
and
was
Dave were still sitting
hilarity.
in front of it though.
It was hilarity that Dave just walks out of the darkness with this giant log.
Well, I mean, to be fair, the log just looked giant because it was little Dave carrying it.
Fair, yeah. He was just he was using the puppet arms to hold it up.
But yeah, that was a great time, and it went. I mean, it was typical maker meetup fashion, and it went way later than it had any sense in being.
But not like super late.
But
It's not like it was like a 3 a.m. like
No, no,
one
no,
I
no.
Rich
remember how
Con
late
night.
it was.
No, it was like, I feel like after midnight we were done.
Yeah, it was like around midnight
Yeah.
30, and you
But
know,
to be fair, in midnight in California, that's
To be
2
fair.
that's 2 and 3 a.m.
Yes.
respectively for us.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it wasn't to Skylar Senior, and he just walked up and just turned off the lights, and we all
He's
were
like,
like,
"This is
"Oh,
done."
I guess this
Yeah,
is done."
like calling it. And then
That's fair.
at the end of the night, I got hijacked. I was just like, they were like, because Dan was staying at the house. I was supposed to stay at the house. And then Hannah and Chad are like, you guys want to, Pete, you want to stay with us? I'm like,
No,
okay.
you're coming with us.
And then
Well, yeah, 'cause
like the next day, I'm like, I may have been kidnapped.
Well, no, they flipped Kimani because Kimani was supposed to stay with them, but because he was taking Dave to the airport really early,
Oh,
they
that's right.
wanted to keep those
'cause
two
they were leaving
together.
super
Kimani
early.
and Dave stayed at the same house I did, but they got up and left really, really early.
Like
I
dumb.
think Kimani
early.
got up at like 4 a.m.
Everybody that left on Sunday messed up. Us
They
leaving
did.
on Monday, that was perfect. That
Great.
was choice.
I mean, I messed up leaving 3 hours before these buttholes,
Yeah,
but
you
we'll get
did.
to that.
Yeah,
we'll
you
get
did.
to that.
So anyway, so that's Saturday. This is literally the day of the event that we just finished. And there's 2 more days, baby. So the next day we wake up and we all reconvene and like join back together at Hannah and Chad's house.
And I'm already
Where
there.
Pete
I've
stayed.
been
Yeah.
there all morning. I had coffee
He's
with them. It was great.
already there.
Yeah, I think Hannah or Chad texted me and said, "Hey, would you like to come over here so you can be close to Pete?" I'm like, "That does collecting, son of a." Yeah, I guess.
Do you want to be close, like puppies? Like
And
they got to keep them back together.
And here's one of the things that I love about these guys, like Hannah and the whole family. They were so happy that we'd be willing to stay with them over a hotel, and we're like,
Right?
are you kidding me? Like, be at the source? Like, this is incredible. So everyone's like all humble and like, thank you, but like we're all having a good time together.
It was like a back and forth of thank yous. Thank you, thank
Yeah.
you. No, thank you.
No, thank you.
No, thank you.
But
I will
Dan
have the
finally-
last thank you. Thank you very much.
Dan finally gets dropped off for a play date. Braden joins us, and we basically we just hung out at the house
Chill.
all day. So they actually ended up leaving to like a birthday party or something.
1-year-old birthday party.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where they went and had more tacos. They were like,
yeah, exactly.
they were so tacoed out.
And me, Braden. The girls
I
joined
wanted
us
to be
too.
like, bring me home
yeah,
some
we-
tacos.
we just stayed in the pool all day.
Well, so before we got in the pool, we met up. We had coffee. Hannah and Chad basically told us that they were
Oh my
leaving,
god.
and then we went and we picked up the girls. We picked up Aretha and Gabby, and then we went to breakfast. And we
We
found
went
a
to a-
diner,
A beer.
Oh,
a
that's
bear
right. I forgot about the
themed
bear
diner.
the
I
Black
blocked-
Bear Diner.
Dude, I blacked out because I was so hungry at that point.
Yeah.
We didn't eat till 1:30. I was like low power
That
mode.
was good.
Oh,
Yeah.
so good.
That was good.
But we ordered. This was diner food in diner portions. I got like my side of biscuits and gravy was an entire entree. Like this
Your
is
side of biscuits and gravy was 4 giant biscuits and gravy.
there's a reason that Americans are fat, and it is
Right.
that diner.
It's
And
diners.
I'm talking like full biscuits, not biscuits cut in half, and then
No,
you
like
got two and
full
two.
biscuits.
These are 4 giant biscuits, and that's just his side.
I'm
Yeah,
convinced
with
that they were
type on 3 on it.
This was their, hey, do you want toast or biscuits and gravy? Like, this is that side. It's not even a side. This
Do you
was
want
just like
one slice of toast or 4 biscuits with a pound of gravy?
Yes.
Chicken fried steak was bigger
that's
than
the
my
move.
child. And it was the right move. Plus hash browns. I mean, Dan got the biscuits and gravy. Pete got a big turkey sandwich.
Turkey
My
club.
wife, turkey club. My wife got the prime rib and eggs.
That looked
and
amazing.
She finished it, and somehow she's like, "Are you gonna finish that?" And like started grabbing at my eggs. Because I had 3 eggs with mine too. But Aretha's got to keep the protein up.
You got
'cause
an
she's
entire
jacked.
menu in your order.
It was
Going.
terrifying. But when we were talking to the waitress, she was intimidating us
She
with
was
the menu on purpose. She was like,
threatening us with food.
yeah. It was like, hey, up here at the top of the menu, these are the big boy portions. Like
The big boy ones.
These are where the adults order.
So it's gonna make your belly hurt.
As you go further down, you get to more and more of the, liberal upper class East Coast.
You can get this one if you're a little like like it was so odd. Like, it was genuinely threatening menu reading. Like, she was just telling us how much of a coward you are. Like, what's the scale? Here's what you order. It was so weird.
And
then she didn't even take our food order. She just took our drink order and then left.
And the small
she wasn't the actual waitress.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
It wasn't even like the smaller portions were like a cup of fruit or like a fruit parfait. Like, they were like, oh, hey, do you want the regular size chicken fried steak? That's what was down there.
Yeah, that would have been reasonable.
So funny.
But yeah, so we had that, and then we go to the pool oasis, or we may have just imagined it. Heck, it could have been like a pond in the middle of a forest at that
A horse
point.
tank.
Yeah, but it felt like paradise.
Note to self: if you have someone apply sunscreen on your back, and he's not going to be here to defend himself, make sure you finish up the job on the front so you have even lines. Braden's not here to defend himself, but Aretha put sunscreen on his back, and then he was like, okay, I'm done, and then jumps in. Oh, he's coming back. All right. I was just pointing out how if someone puts sunscreen on your back, you should probably finish up the job on the front, which you did not, Braden.
I did not.
Hand lines.
I had hand shaped sunburn on my shoulders. I mean, I just remember Aretha rubbing my back with the sunscreen, and I just remember it being so pleasant and just so loving because she cares of me. I just blacked out, and I just assumed she rubbed me down.
Whoa,
that's the way I
down.
was after Pete rubbed me.
That's true.
I did Dan's back. Dan did my back because we're family.
That's right.
Family. Yeah.
So much sunscreen. I
wipe on sunscreen 1/4 mile at a time.
Then we just put sunscreen on our chest and rubbed our chests together
back and forth
to get that.
There's
a video out there somewhere.
That's tier video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Special 5th Patreon tier.
That's only available on our Only Dans.
But I mean, we just
lounged.
We sat in a pool. We lounged. I had to fight a little girl for a pool noodle like half the day because I was cool Uncle Pete, and I had to like entertain whatever. I had her until she got it though. She got it. Yeah.
It had been days since I was that lazy. Like, that felt great.
We just sat there and because here's the
down
thing.
Here we float.
I think Dan and I kind of had a nod to each other of because we literally can't work now. We can't do anything that's constructive.
There's nothing you can.
We have that's the best kind of vacation when you fully a day off at home. You're gonna do something. A day off in another state.
Even
you
if
ain't
you're just
doing
scrolling
nothing.
your phone and looking for ideas and stuff, you're still kind of working. Your brain's still kind of active, and you're not taking your brain off of it. Yes.
We did a couple stories, put the phone down. That was it. We just did not engage.
Cranked up Yacht Rock.
Yacht Rock. That's a new playlist that I've added to my my repertoire.
That's new to you?
Oh, I didn't have that. No, it was pretty good.
Check out
Yacht
if you
one of the best
Rock.
playlists on
if
Apple.
you're listening and
Yacht.
you're looking for like a bussin' like summer playlist, Yacht Rock. It's like
Yacht
all
Rock
classic
essentials,
rock.
man.
Hannah and Chad, they have a couple tortoises, and
It's
so
Tortai.
yeah, tortellini.
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 But yeah, I mean, it was great. You know, we all got to disconnect. We couldn't work. I got to hang out with my family, which I don't do a lot of.
I'm so sorry.
And I should be better at that. But Gabby, this is high praise. Gabby got to spend the day at the pool with tortoises, punching Pete in the face. And she, by the end of it, I quote, best day ever, which is high praise because she doesn't like much of anything. She is
Also
very high standards.
The other quote that she dropped on us that I freaking love was I'm just pretending that I'm gonna be late for work.
Oh yeah. She's just like, she's lounging in like these floaties and she just goes, I'm just pretending I'm gonna be late for work. I'm like, that is somehow so deep. Oh my god.
So if you ever need to relax, just pretend like you're gonna be late to work and just chill, y'all. Chill.
Or it's the level of like, I'm gonna be so late I don't care anymore.
What are they gonna do?
Exactly.
Where you're not stressed
I'm gonna
anymore.
be late. So like the old job that I used to have, they would give you a point or what, there was a point system.
Oh god.
So like
those jobs.
if
Just give me
you're 10 minutes
PTSD.
late
A
to
demerit.
work, you get a point, or if you're 4 to 5 hours late, you get a point. Well, I'm gonna be
4
late,
hours
so
late.
I'm gonna take my time. I'll see you in 5 hours.
I do want to say
Oh.
I got some high praise from Gabby because I got a full-blown hug from her when we were saying goodbye on Monday. That's
I
big.
did not get that.
I did. I just
Wow.
went, can I get a hug? And she jumped on me. And I was like, I made it. I made it. I'm family.
Uncle
Family.
Pete.
Cool Uncle Pete. Yeah, throw the
Um,
cool in there. But guys, what was the highlight of Sunday?
Oh, when the sun goes down,
AW pizza night.
you gotta
pizza night.
eat. And we had AW pizza night.
Bapa da boopy.
And this was not
Boo-boo.
Domino's takeout. This was not a Pizza Hut
Davino's.
delivery. This was not DiGiorno's. This was homemade rolled crust on the counter and fired in a pizza oven on
One of those
like
uni
on the porch.
pizza ovens. Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Thin crust.
Can we talk about how quick that oven cooked the pizza?
Dude,
Oh my
yeah.
god.
it's 700 degrees inside.
Yeah.
Because I started my pizza on fire, literally.
Yeah,
Dan loaded
blackened.
his alone, and
I
we just
didn't
hear from
realize it was that
inside. We just hear Chad. What did Dan do? It's on fire.
No, I started yelling, help, 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 help.
Dan, I think your speeds and feeds were off on that one.
Oh, they were way off. They were way off. That oven, it literally cooks the pizza in 30 seconds. If
It
you're
was
in longer
crazy.
than 30 seconds, you're
Chris,
done.
charcoal.
You're done.
It was nuts.
And you
It
got to
was
constantly
so much
turn
fun.
it too.
I was like, I don't know how I just fell into my element. I was like, yeah, loading up the pizza.
You were totally in your element,
dude. I would
You were like,
You were making creations.
you were like slanging dough.
oh,
and
we ended up doing
flour.
like we did a calzone.
Do you
We
guys
ended
have
up
some
do-
hot honey?
Oh, the
Bro.
hot honey. Dude, that was my best idea of the night. I was like, do you guys have hot honey? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, let's go. Let's go. If you don't know what hot honey is,
that was
hot honey is one of the greatest inventions ever. It's spicy honey. So it's sweet, but it's got a kick to it. It
Just like cilantro.
Just put on. Just like cilantro.
I hate you so much right now, Braden. So my family saw all the fun that we were having in our stories for AW Pizza Night. So when I got back, they were like, we got to do that. And we were planning on doing it on Friday, which would be tomorrow because we're recording on Thursday. But we ended up doing it yesterday, right?
Couldn't wait.
So we did pizza night last night. We all had a good time, except for John, my son. He's
was
just
"This
like,
is
I just want
stupid.
somebody to make
Make it
pizza
for me.
I'm like, whatever. But we all had a good night. We all had pizza. We had some leftover this morning. I ate the leftover pizza. My wife comes home. She realizes it's not there. I'm dog meat right now. I suck.
She beats him. She beats him with a stick.
Oh yeah,
She should. He deserves it.
She would have if there was a stick available. Okay, what I'm trying to get to is, so like when we did pizza night in Cali, Pete was experimenting and he was doing all this stuff. He made a pepperoni loaf, he made a calzone. So today, after I had the leftover pizza, I was like, that is not enough. I want more. So we had some leftover stuff. So I made a calzone today.
Ooh, nice.
And it was phenomenal. However, I didn't have ricotta. I had
You don't need it. You don't.
No.
Mozzarella's fine, but ricotta does.
No. I didn't have ricotta. I used cottage cheese. Not the same.
It is
not the same.
Not the same.
It was still good. It was still edible. I still ate the whole
It's
thing.
almost like trying to
Not
make
the
a
same.
Bloody Mary, but you only have beer and a pickle.
Expired pickles. Dan's had a whole day of just like halfway theirs.
We hop on the live, right? And Dan is drinking a beer with pickles in it. And we're like, what? And he's like, oh, I wanted to make a Bloody Mary, but all I had was beer and pickles. And these have been in the back of the fridge for a while. Sell by date was kind of off, but whatever. And we're like, is it good? He goes, no, but he still drinks. He takes a sip. Like, my God, wait, wasn't Kayla gonna get you some clamato juice?
She did not, because I ate her leftover pizza.
And
she built him up just to break him down.
To her right now.
Oh my God, ridiculous.
Hey, do you want some Bloody Mary mix? Yeah.
Well, too bad.
Suck it.
So anyways, I think pizza night Friday night is gonna be family pizza night is gonna be my thing.
I guess what I'm doing tomorrow
John's gonna be like, make my pizza.
Tomorrow Keith and Lindsay are coming over for pizza night.
Oh, it's I didn't realize how easy it was to just buy pre-made so like I think Chad and Hannah bought pre-made dough, but you had to throw it on the counter and still roll it out though, right?
Yeah. We make our own, or Emma has a recipe.
Of course you do.
Well, I sent it to you too. You were in that chat. So you have it if you want. It's just flour, yeast, and water. That's it.
I realize it, but I didn't realize it was so easy, and it's so freaking good. It's so good. I don't even have a pizza oven. I just put my oven to the highest temperature possible. I think it's like 550. Put it in there.
And you can put it on 500 and throw it in there for 10 minutes. It's great. That's what we do. We end up doing that. Yeah. And dude,
it was great.
It's such a fun thing to do with friends. Best pizza though, I will say, when you're doing like at home pizza night, you do a prosciutto pie and then put arugula on top and then balsamic glaze. So like the arugula goes on after it comes out. Dude, no, like
best pizza is still Casey's.
That's a lot of cilantro.
Hamburger and mushroom.
Unlike cilantro, arugula is actually spicy, actually peppery.
I don't know where I got that from. I swear.
I don't know, but I'm so happy you did, because I swear we will have a T-shirt that says "spicy like cilantro" by tomorrow.
I'm so glad you're wrong.
Okay, let me read the definition I found on the Googles. Cilantro, also known as coriander leaves, is a spice. Wait,
cilantro's coriander?
Comes from the leafy part of the coriander plant. It has a complex, fragrant, citrusy flavor with hints of pepper.
Hints.
Yeah,
like whispers of
pepper. Smell more than anything.
Hints of pepper, Braden. There's some spice in there.
You're right. It's practically a cayenne.
It's basically a ghost pepper.
It's basic. That's the most Nebraska thing you have ever said to me ever.
This water's got some bite. Hurts my teeth.
Once it hits the lips.
So we finish up pizza night. We end up
also every time you say pizza night, I just think it's pizza night.
No.
Tell them about all the hot and sexy hot tub time that we had.
That's right. We we finished up the evening. We spent some time. We sat out on the back porch. We all chatted for hours, got to know each other, and then
when you say chatted, were we behaving like Chad or were we talking?
We chatted. We chatted while chatting.
Oh, nice.
We hit the point where it was time for me to take my women folk back to the hotel, so I went and dropped them off. Tuck them in, and they were like, "Okay, bye, Dad. Like, get out of here. Like,
We're done with you.
we have Netflix on, and you're bothering us. Go away." So I went back to the house. The great thing, that was actually perfect. The hotel that we had, Skylar Senior's house, Hannah's house, and the hotel were all within like 5 minutes of each other. So none of this like wandering around really took that much time. So hopped back over to where Pete and everybody was, and we hopped in the hot tub because it was nighttime. Get a little nighttime work business talk sort of thing. And we just chatted with Hannah and Chad about maker community and just kind of everything. It was good. It was a good,
really
relaxing end of the day.
Kimani just sent me the video of me driving the truck.
Oh,
Ooh,
I'm excited.
Do we need to pause for a minute so that you can watch?
Oh no, I'm
no,
relive.
Because you'll have to have a cigarette after, and we don't need that right now.
Oh, it's time for a sleep.
Oh, but speaking of sleep, that was the last night that we're spending in Cali, and the next day, we got up, we had breakfast.
Before we move on, Chad had a bourbon. What was that bourbon?
Brown sugar bourbon. So he did specify that they
so good,
but he did specify that apparently they changed either distributors or the recipe. So he had some of the last bottles from the last batch, and they changed it up. But it's still brown sugar bourbon. Talk dirty to me. That sounds great.
Oh, so good.
I'm not upset about that.
I can't drink bourbon without Coke, but I could drink that stuff. That was good.
Oh, that was good.
Real good.
Nice and sweet. So what? Next day we got up, we had breakfast, we headed to the Surfprep warehouse. We got to watch stuff like happening live on a Monday morning, like actual like machines running. Talk to everyone, all the employees, all the people that we met like in passing and at the house, like working. So we got to see everything happening, and it was really cool. Like Skylar took us around and like showed us all the stuff that they're developing, that they're working on. They've got some new stuff coming out, which was very exciting, very cool. Like I was talking with him about 3D printed stuff. Braden was talking to him about some apparel stuff. Dan was just talking. It was great. No, but like it was so cool to see it in full production. And I gotta say, I got a whole new level of respect for Surfprep after this weekend.
Yeah.
Agreed.
It was great. It was great seeing the whole thing. The whole where the sausage was made, so to say.
Where the sausage is packed.
Where the sausage is pro-foamed.
Yeah. Bet you it's more fun than watching Casey's Pizza get made.
Yeah, but you can't do that while pumping gas.
True.
Can I get 220 grit on pump 9? It was just such a good weekend. And then I got dropped off at the airport for my flight by Braden and Dan. And then
5 hours before ours.
Yeah, those boobs went to the beach with the girls. And
hold on, several hours later, I'd like to point out that it was this wasn't a 15-minute drive to get to the airport. So I drove hour 15 to get Pete there, hour 15 back. Or Dan, you were in the car.
I suggested you try to like rally the girls and all come together.
There was no way that was going to happen.
You mean you can't put your foot down and tell your wife what to do? Oh, that makes sense now. I say it out loud.
That tracks. You met my daughter, right?
Was she the short one?
Yes.
Okay.
Did you see all of the control that I had over her all weekend?
What control?
There we go. There we go. Yeah. So Dan and I drove with Pete, hour 15 out, hour 15 back, and picked up the girls. Hour 15 again, overshot the airport, and I'll let you tell the story of where you weren't.
I was on a plane.
Yeah. Where were Dan and everything?
Yeah, you kids went down to the beach, and
we went to Newport Beach.
I landed in Phoenix, and I had a layover in Phoenix, and I get a very poor quality video because it's like downloading over just connected to the internet, and it's basically in memoriam video of, and the first version, it was straight up like Pete died. Pete died in California, and we will forever remember him until this video stops going viral. Like, basically, it was that. Thank goodness they changed some of the fonts, because even Emma watched the final one. She's like, you were right next to me, and I did not like that, because it was like, it felt like you died. And I'm like, I'm glad you didn't see the first one, because it had dates on it. It was like I was gone.
No, it didn't. The first one literally said Pete's fine. His flight was just 4 hours earlier.
I know,
than
but it was
ours.
like,
we miss you.
the other wording in it
But
was
it-
very much like
Like
yeah,
the full,
that
like the
was-
full name.
that
he's
was
no longer with
intentional.
us in
Yeah.
another state.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
but
we definitely changed it. We changed it to a distance makes the heart grow fonder sort of thing. Go find it. Dan and I about pissed ourselves on the plane making that reel.
But the MVP was Aretha. Like, the fact that you said, hey, me and Dan are going to hold hands, walk down the beach. I need you to record it, pan, and like follow us and like make it smooth. And she goes,
didn't question it at all.
she was like, okay, sure.
Yeah, whatever.
Not a single question.
Didn't
I
even
love
think.
it.
No
I love
question.
that, because she understood the assignment.
Yeah. No.
She
Dan
just
and-
knows.
Yeah. Dan and I are gonna hold hands. Just don't make it weird. She's like, you're making it weird. Just do it.
Make it weird by pointing it out.
And the other good part was there were people watching us. Like, what the hell is going on here?
You know, but here's the thing. There's nothing, no one braver in the world, no hero braver in the world than a content creator with another content creator, because you don't give a flying about anything. You completely ignore everyone. You're like, I'll record in the middle of a Home Depot. But if you're by yourself, you're like, hey guys, I'm here. Oh, hang on, somebody's looking at me. Okay, I'm here at Home Depot. Like, no one, when you're with another buddy, no, like, you don't care at all. But when you're by yourself,
That's actually true.
it's very true. Yeah, when you have the power of another person, you just record content like it's
Somebody
nothing.
that understands why you're doing what you're doing.
Yes.
It's the validation that
Yeah.
really fuels the fire. And that's what it was.
Exactly.
Is Dan, we gotta hold hands. He's like, yep.
Okay,
sounds,
that's
sounds
fine.
super reasonable.
This seems
Okay.
normal.
But yeah, we stitched that together on the flight because Dan and I, okay, Gabby was hurt by this. She did not like this, but because Dan and I booked our flight separate through the business, and Aretha and Gabby were booked together through our personal stuff, Dan and I sat next to each other this entire flight, like all of our flights. And on the way home, Gabby's like, Dad, can I sit next to you? I'm like, well, no, my seats, like, they're assigned seats. I just sit next to Mr. Dan. Can Mom sit next to Mr. Dan? I mean, I guess if she wants to. She's like, Braden, just go to your seat. Like, our seats are better. Bye. So, but yeah, so Dan and I, like usual, are sitting next to each other, putting together reels, just absolutely losing our shit like little schoolgirls the entire time.
You guys were sandwiching Wheezy McGee, right?
No, so okay,
that
that
was on
was
the
our
way there.
second flight.
Oh,
Our second flight home was the one where Dan had the window, I had the middle. I got stuck in the middle the entire flight home, and I hate the middle and window. Basically, I only am happy in the aisle. The guy in our aisle seat when we went from Denver to Omaha had his laptop out. He's an older guy, had his laptop out, and he was watching like a screen camcorded version of some like action movie on YouTube, like 36p resolution, full volume, no headphones. And I didn't see headphones the entire flight. He had no headphones. Like, he was totally cool with like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna watch this movie.
that is the
there's
most
no-
unhinged psychopath crap I have ever heard in my life. And like to watch a movie, and like planes, let's be real. I brought isotunes this time on the flight. Planes are loud. Really loud. It's a loud hum, so you don't notice it as much if you have regular headphones in, but it's loud. So like to watch with no audio and just like like the noise of the flight the whole time, no audio, poor quality recording of a recording, that's psychopath level.
I'm sorry. I think you misunderstood. He had his audio, full audio, like full volume.
What they say on American Airlines, you're not supposed to like have the full audio. They said it on the thing in the pre-flight.
We were on United.
First off,
so
we were
I
on
think
United. And
clearly
Oh,
that's
they don't
fine.
care on United.
Second,
You're right.
he did not care. He did not care at all.
Could you hear the audio at least?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
the way you said that. Yes.
He freaking better of.
I'm pretty sure that he also tried to watch like the new Godzilla movie from a camcorder rip at one point. And let me tell you, the audio quality on a camcorder is not enough to do that movie justice.
That's the sound it makes. Was that good? Did I make it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that was bang on.
Gazira.
Perfect.
our flights, Dan, I think wanted to murder me. I'm not sure if he wanted to kill you for the dust collector more or me for how I handle airlines.
Oh, bro.
I'm
let's-
very, very comfortable with the time frame that it takes to get through security, get to the flight. Like Dan is still living in the like you have to be at the airport 4 hours before your domestic flight.
Okay.
All right, Dad.
Okay, my turn. So we're at the beach in Newport Beach, and we're having a great time. Our flight originally is supposed to take off at 4:04 p.m. in California, Santa Ana. We're at the beach, and we're hungry, and we're like, we should get something to eat, whatever. Okay, let's drive down the street. Oh, look, there's a taco place, there's a sushi place. So we pull over, we're going to get sushi. Braden and his family order a giant, like 7-course meal at the sushi place, and it's $3.45. It's I'm not even joking. It's 3:45 p.m. We got 15 minutes to get to the airport before our plane takes off.
You were leaving out. We knew that the flight had been delayed by that point already. We knew it had been pushed back an hour. We had.
They
until
say
5.
when you delay it. No,
No,
Braden,
no.
I'm gonna back
No.
up Dan here because when they say if your flight is delayed, you should be at the airport no matter what in case something changes.
You knew the flight was delayed an hour. I knew it was delayed 20 minutes because you got an additional notification that I didn't get. Okay, so I was still under the impression that our flight takes off at 4:34, right? And it starts boarding at what, 4:04. So regardless, we're still eating sushi at 3:45, and Braden and his wife and his kid, they're still getting stuff. They're bringing out like little bits and pieces here and there, and I'm like, God, we gotta go. So like I had to step outside and take a Xanax because I'm freaking out. I am freaking out.
Braden, why would you do that to him?
I didn't realize that he hadn't gotten that second update.
Because all you care
and
about is
we're-
yourself.
and
In
we're
a
at
California
opposite ends of
roll.
the
Get it?
table.
Because you were in California.
Yeah,
They're all California rolls.
I assumed the sushi would be faster because 1, there was not a single other person there, and 2, it's sushi, like it's all raw. There's nothing to do. So I assumed it would.
You
be
were raw
faster.
dogging Dan right now.
But I never saw Dan's food come out, so I see ours like coming out, and I'm like, man, what the hell did Dan order? Because he hasn't gotten his food. And little did I know he had already gotten it and scarfed it down. So we're just.
I wanted to get that.
We were just on different pages of the same book, Dan. We got to get to. We got to make sure that we're on the same page.
Old
Here's
Mr.
the thing.
TSA PreCheck over here. He's like, no big deal.
Hey,
no big
listen.
Oh,
deal."
wait, let's talk about that for a second.
Well,
Because
we're gonna get into that in the questions.
Oh
But
yeah, that's
anyway,
right. That's right. We'll say
Anyway,
Oh yeah, we
Dan-
still got questions.
We
Oh,
lucked
God.
out. All of our flights were delayed, like the perfect amount, except for the fact that we got home at like 2 a.m. So
Okay,
that
yeah,
sucks.
that's true. So our flight got delayed an hour out of Santa Ana, John Wayne Airport, and originally our flight into Denver was supposed to land at 8:25, and what our flight from Denver to Omaha is supposed to take off or start boarding. I can't remember which one, but it's supposed to start at 8:27. Like if everything works out from this point, we're gonna be maybe okay. Maybe. If our terminal is close by, like Denver is a big airport. If we have to go all the way across the airport, we're effed. We are effed. We might as well rent a car from Denver and just start driving home.
Driving to Nebraska. That would be a heck of a drive.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you guys, I mean, you landed, I think about an hour and change after me, something like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well-
we landed. Our flight out of Denver got delayed. So we had the same layover. We got some dinner, which we needed. Like,
Yeah,
damn it,
actually,
getting
that
hungry.
was a welcome delay.
That's
Like
the
we
thing about a
went
tight
to
layover. You can't even eat in the middle of a flight. And like
we
for me,
yeah.
it was an 8-9 hour day for the 2 flights. So like I couldn't even get a meal in the middle. Kind
Yeah,
of
we ended up going to the New Belgium restaurant in the Denver airport, which was
Oh,
fantastic. Actually,
very nice.
I got a what they call it, the it was a blue cheese and bacon Angus burger. It was
Oh,
He-
sounds good.
He
I
needed.
can't remember the name of it, but it was really good.
Yeah, Dan was mad at me.
Yeah,
So
I bet.
I'm glad he got some food.
Listen,
in him
I'm
so
the
he could
same way
calm
though.
down a
Like
little
I
bit.
am get there early and then like camp out at the airport terminal.
was-
Like what you walk over to the gate, because listen, we all do this. You walk over to the gate, the gate's there, it exists, it's real. It says that the name of the town I'm going to. Now
Same.
I can go poop. Now I
Same.
can go get food. I can do
Same.
whatever. You need to make sure it exists because they're lying to you. They want you to not check.
Same.
You know, because if you don't check it,
Same.
it's not there. So you go, you check the gate,
just-
you go, it exists.
Yeah, Braden and I travel very differently. In that sushi
Me and
restaurant,
Dan, I
don't
feel
know
like
if you-
travel
you
very
could- I
similar.
don't know if you could tell, Braden, but like I wanted to murder you.
Oh, I could tell. I could tell. I had to like talk him off the ledge the entire drive back to the airport. Like, hey, it's gonna be fine. Look, we
You need
just
to
got
be
dela- we
considerate
just
of
got delayed
Dan's
another 20
feelings
minutes.
and needs.
I thought the food was gonna come out faster. It was some inconvenient timing.
No, I
Oh,
need
it's
to
all
be
good,
there
it's all
an
good.
hour and I
We
had
can look
TSA
back on it
PreCheck.
now and laugh.
I need an hour and change before the flight. I need to be there early.
Yeah, that makes me feel
Just to like
good.
relax, unwind.
When we left Omaha to go to California, my wife was like, "Hey, I can actually just drop you off because she's doing summer school right now." So she dropped me off at like 7:15, and our flight didn't leave until 9:30. And if you know anything about Omaha, like that is an hour and a half more time than what you really need because it takes no time at all to get to Omaha. So I get there early and I go straight to the bar and I'm like, are you serving alcohol? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, Bloody Marys.
Yes,
it's 7
please.
a.m.
Well, all right. So since we're on a topic, let's jump into questions because we have
Yeah.
one that's TSA specific. So
Oh, Black Betty, Ram Lamb.
this one's from Kimani.
What the fark is up, guys? Great seeing you all in Cali for the West Coast Maker Meetup. Right now it is ranking pretty high in terms of maker-related events that I've been to so far, primarily because there was good food, there was good people, but there was also like downtime. Like you didn't have to go, and there was like, you did the maker thing, and then you got to chill, and I think that was awesome. So, like I said, great seeing everybody. Great getting to hang out with you guys. My, social meter is been refilled, so I think I'm good until we get to Maker Camp. Now on to the question portion of this event. 2 questions. One, now that you are back home, and had a couple of days to settle in, have you unpacked yet? And 2, do you all have TSA PreCheck? Okay. See you at the next event later.
I have not unpacked. I've just been living out of my
What?
suitcase. Like I unpack as the days go by because I'm like, oh well, I didn't use that, so I'll wear that today. So that's how I unpack. And no, I still don't have TSA PreCheck, but maybe I'll get it now. Maybe,
You coward.
maybe.
Get it.
Braden?
Get it. Oh, I traveled for work at my last job, like 2 or 3 times a month, all the time. So TSA PreCheck is a godsend. I love TSA PreCheck. They can pry that away from my cold, dead fingers. Clothes are unpacked. The suitcase is unpacked. My backpack has sat in the corner and has not been emptied at all. So I hope I don't need anything in there because I've forgotten what's in it.
That reminds me, I actually have a set of coasters for you, Mike Suter from Woodworkers versus Cancer,
And
and
you,
me.
Dan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That I need to get.
Spread the love,
hang out.
Dan.
Yeah.
Those
What about
are the ones
JP?
that Tom made. For
Yes.
me, I unpacked almost immediately, and that is because I packed a semi like loosey goosey carry on, like where there's like a zip up section, you zip it under like it wasn't even fully filled. The other side was fairly empty. So when I put the sustainer in there, it ate up a lot of space. That's why I had to fill like the sustainer with clothes. So I'm like, I have to unpack this, otherwise it's gonna smell like some used clothes and fresh clothes, whatever. I try to divide it like fresh clothes or whatever, and I was packing it around the sides.
Check out my cool new sander. Oh, that's
Oh.
used underwear.
Yeah, it's are these boxers or briefs? It's actually a 3x4.
It would become the funk stainer.
Yeah, exactly. So there was clean clothes inside, but I wanted to take them out, and I'm the kind of guy like when I get a fresh shirt, like I wash it usually. So just to like I want to know what it shrinks down to. I want to get set up a baseline, you know. I like the new joke that's going around too on the internet. Like, I think the dryer's shrinking my clothes. I don't think it's a dryer. I think it's a fridge. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I like that. So yeah,
I feel
I
attacked every
unpacked
time I see that one.
almost immediately. I also needed like some stuff that was like some my power, because I took my power charging stuff and whatever. I threw that in a bag. So like I'm like I need to charge my phone now. As far as
I took
TSA
all that
PreCheck,
stuff out. I just haven't taken the clean clothes out yet.
so Chad was correct. So Santa Ana is John Wayne Airport. Pew, 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 pew. So it's John Wayne Airport, and it is in an affluent area of like Southern California and south of LA. And he was like, TSA takes longer than regular, like regular lines. And I'm like, that seems silly. I walk up to the line. There's maybe 10 people in a regular line. TSA PreCheck was like 40. It still flew by, but like I was through in like less than 10 minutes. But it was definitely way more people in TSA because all these affluent people have TSA PreCheck. And when you just have a lot of people paying for the fancy thing, suddenly everyone's paying for the fancy thing, and like that's the line that's longer. So TSA PreCheck, that was the only time I was ever like, this is longer, but it is a godsend. It's like Braden said, it's the best thing ever. Being able to get through flights, like I know in my bones that I can get through the actual security in less than 30 minutes. Like I know that 100%. I've never taken more than I think 15. So to give myself 30, but regular, I've stood in that line zigzagging through Newark International Airport for 45 minutes to an hour on certain flights just to get the security.
My thing for TSA PreCheck isn't even the time savings. I just hate taking off my belt and shoes. I hate the like awkward like
Fair.
waddle of like, are my pants gonna fall down or not? Like I'm a boy, big boy, I need a belt.
You know what I miss in TSA PreCheck? In regular lines, there's always a lady, a guy, usually it's a lady, and she's yelling at you, take off your shoes, your belts, your phone's in the case. Like she tells you every little, like, if you have a belt buckle in there. Like,
and then if you happen to forget something, they're like, a reminder.
A reminder, yes. Oh yeah. She
Please
like
empty your your TSA pockets. Please empty them into a separate bin.
And in TSA, there's no instructions. So like, I'm like, do I hold my phone? Do I put it in a thing? Because like I went through one of the times and I'm like, I'm wearing my watch. I broke the law. Oh no, I'm wearing my watch. And then like the other time I took everything off. I left my belt on. They were just waving me through. I'm like, what? When do I stop taking things off of me? Like, can I keep the money clip in my pocket? Can I keep my phone in my pocket? Do I have to take stuff out? Like, what is the limit for TSA PreCheck? So that's the only thing. I didn't know where we're at with it. Like, what do I take out?
It's like the rules are all just made up anyway.
They really are. They really are. All right, so let's rapid fire through these questions. Sorry, I went off on a rant here. Alex Adams, this is a question from last week because we recorded a day early. This is gonna be Dan's favorite.
Hey guys, it's Alex at Type A Furniture, and the question that I have for you guys is what red flags do you look for in customers that are likely going to be difficult to work with, both for online as well as in-person commissions?
Great question. I mean, I have a quick answer for this. The more questions they ask, the more of a pain in the ass they're going to be, because they're really trying to get that $100 worth of money out of you.
Yes.
The end.
Or especially like if they're ordering something for me, like that's $35. Like,
yeah,
bro, it's not a lifelong investment. I mean, come on. Or if they have an AOL based email, or if they have a Yahoo
I hate
based
the
email,
profile, but yes.
Or if they
Yes.
breathe.
AOL or Yahoo, or God forbid MSN.
I'm telling you what, we might lose listeners here, but I have more problems with boomers because they don't understand how things work. It drives me nuts.
Well,
But please continue giving me your money, boomers. Yes, those are red flags for me.
Wow.
Quick and easy.
there go Max and Alyssa Reed. Like they're unsubscribed now.
Braden, do you have an answer for this?
You know, it's the second they ask for any sort of discount. Hey, do you have a friends and family discount? Do you have a coupon code? Do you have a discount code? Like the second they ask for money off, I immediately start looking for, like, I assume that they're going to be a problem. And the ones that are don't have the red flags, Pete, you say this all the time. The best customers are the ones that you send the invoice and their only response is invoice paid. Invoice paid.
Yeah. It also, to add to that, it's also the people that want a huge like itemized list of exactly what they're paying.
If they want itemized stuff,
no, I won't do it.
No.
Yeah, sorry, I'm not the guy for you. But I mean, and that's the point. They're looking to nickel and dime and bring down rates. And I get it. Like, I get being cost effective, but at a certain point, like, what we do is art. Like, nobody really needs what we do in terms of furniture. You can
Trust
get
the
it from
process.
IKEA, you can get it from Walmart. You are not paying for a table, you're paying for an artistic piece that happens to function as a table. So the second they ask for a discount or try and start like analyzing the price over the piece, red flags. Like, and my bar for like red flags is so incredibly low. Like,
as it should be. I feel like we're always like willing to jump on like any gig in the beginning, but then it's like, no, it's not worth it. Not worth it.
So
yeah,
that's it.
Good stuff. All right, next one is, actually, I'm going to skip around. This one's from Randall from Very Expensive Connecticut.
Good evening, guys. It's Randy from Connecticut. My question this week is, what is the one tool when you were starting out that terrified you? For me, it's a router. I don't know why. It's incredibly intimidating to me. I'm terrified of it. I know I need to figure out a way to just get past it and use a router, but I'm just curious, what is the tool that terrified you the most when you started?
Good question. Braden?
My most terrifying tool actually comes from my car, like my off-roading days or working on cars and metal. And it's not like when I started it scares me. It scares me to this day. The angle grinder with like a grinder wheel is the most terrifying thing that I've ever seen, because it's basically a router that you hit it at the wrong angle and the router bit or the angle thing explodes with just absolute vindictiveness in every direction. That's also the tool that has instilled just the never dying habit of, I'm going to put on safety glasses when I'm using a power tool, because that thing terrifies me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good answer. Man, I wish I would have had that answer. The router, it terrifies me to an extent. I don't worry so much about using like little profile bits like roundovers or chamfers.
Dan, I want you to specify, because I was going to get to this, like router table.
Yeah.
Way scarier than handheld router.
I think I feel like it's like 6 of one, half a dozen in the other. It's the big like flush trim bits that kind of scare me. Especially on the router table. I've posted several videos on my IG of me botching like a flush trim bit, but like those big flush trim bits that can take off a lot, that are like 2 inches tall, those can be super intimidating, because number one, they're just large and in charge. Number two, they can grab real easy and throw it out of your hands, like in a jiffy, like in a split second. So yeah, those things can really do some harm. So they scare the crap out of me. The other machine that really scares me, even to this day, is the jointer. The jointer can be super scary. I don't think a lot of people fear it enough because they don't really realize how freaking much damage that thing can do. I have a high school kid working in my shop with me. It's very part-time, and I've been teaching him about the jointer, and I have a healthy fear of it. So I'm constantly like watching him still and coaching him through it, because I think that thing can do a lot of damage really fast, especially a jointer that has a helical head. For some reason, I feel like a helical head will do more damage than straight knives, just because of the quickness and the smoothness of the cut.
Well, the damage will have a smoother finish on it.
Yeah, you get a nice flat surface on your arm.
You'll be maimed, but like little chunk by chunk.
And that also might come down to the fact that, like, when I first started woodworking in my garage, albeit I've been woodworking for a very long time, I never messed with a jointer until I made a shop in my garage, and I was trying to joint a mallet, the top of a mallet head, which is mostly edge grain, which would be fine, but the handle that protrudes has a touch of end grain, and as I tried to flatten that out, it caught that end grain and it flung it out of my hand, and it nearly got me. So I've always had a fear of the jointer. So don't do what I did. Pete, what say you?
Well, I've got it's hard to say. There's a lot of things that I feared when I was first starting out. Some of it for like genuine fear, some of it which just I did not like using. Some of it just like scared me more than anything. So router table to me was way scarier because that takes your piece and throws it. Whereas if you use a router, in my experience, it kicks the router, but the piece stays on the table. Oftentimes I'm using like pads or like something that like grips it a little better. That's why one of the reasons why I round over my ice climbing tools instead of bringing them to the router table, because I did like 3 of them, and one and a half or 2 of them got like thrown across the room, and I'm like, nope, this is scary. Just wanted to pull my hand in.
So you feel like you have more control with the router in your hand versus in a table?
Yes, as long as the thing we're sanding is also on something that's a little grippy, like a rubber, like I have the Rockler sanding pad thing, which is great, or yoga mats. It sticks the stuff down. So if it kicks the router out instead of kicking the piece out, and like the router spins. And here's the thing, the scariest tool to me to this day is still the shaper, which is just a router on crack.
Oh, that's just a big router. Yeah.
It's a router with a table saw motor on it. Right. But
Right.
I'm going to go real left field with this answer though. The thing that scares me the most
The
is
glue bot.
no. Anytime you're messing around with like a set of pliers, how many times have you pinched your hand just a little bit?
Ooh.
Like, and you'd be like, I shouldn't do this because damn it, I got it. I pinched myself. And every time it immediately turns blue. It's one of the worst. There's like I take like extra precaution when I'm using pliers, especially the ones that like they're cheap ones that just have like a metal on metal. I have no forgiveness whatsoever. That's just me, but that's one tool that I like genuinely think about every time I use it. I'm like, these fucking pliers.
You know what surprises me? None of us brought up the table saw.
No.
That's genuinely like a terrifying tool. If you don't have like a saw stop, like that tool could like do life-changing damage.
But you feel like you have the most control over it.
Yeah, here's the thing. When you're starting out, you don't know what kickback is, and so you don't know to be scared of it.
Yep.
Now, after that first time that you just yeet a board directly back at you, you learn to be scared of it, but a lot of people just don't make the connection that can happen on the table saw, and so they're not scared when they start out. It's, hey, I can see this, do this. I mean,
I'm pretty sure we've all taken a week off from the table saw. like a full week off from the
Just
shop
like, hey,
after having a moment.
I'm gonna do some laser work.
I took a month off from the router table when I had my like really bad kickback, when it pulled my hand towards the bit, and I didn't get bit, but I was like, I'm gonna just go inside. I'm done. I'll be back in a week. Thank you, everyone.
My time here is done.
My time here is done. This is fine.
I bid you adieu.
But you're right. Table saw biggest potential danger, most confidence.
Legit life-changing injuries on the table saw.
Yeah, but somehow the most confidence. I do agree with that. Yeah. All right. Last question is from Alex Adams again.
Hey guys, it's Alex at Type A Furniture, and I just successfully enlisted in the Meh Army. And I thought that a Surfprep sander and a pickup with chrome wheels was standard issue, but apparently the recruiter lied to me. So the question that I have for you guys is, how do I begin getting Surfprep integrated into my shop? When it comes to sanding contours right now, I do that just by hand with some regular sandpaper, and then the sanders that I do have are a 6-inch Rotex and a 3-inch Rotex that has the little Delta pad attachment. So as of right now, I'm not able to get the full-on Surfprep 3x4 standalone sander, but I'm curious if getting maybe a foam sanding pad for hand sanding, or potentially getting something that works with my sanders would be a good starting point for, getting Surfprep in the shop.
Do one of you fine gentlemen want to take this?
I'd like to take this one.
But I don't.
Because the easy answer is going to be the one we're all going to want to say, and I want to get it out first. The sanders from Surfprep are phenomenal, but like there's a lot of really high-end sanders that do what Surfprep is going to do, where it reduces vibration, you get a better finish, it's a higher quality tool. I still recommend you get the Surfprep ones. I love them. The place that you can make the most immediate impact at the lowest price point is starting to integrate higher quality abrasives, which is any of the abrasives from Surfprep, getting Pro Foam, because they make them for every sander. So you can get it for the 5-inch, you can get it for the 6-inch, you can get it for anything with the dust collection holes punched out for that machine. Cutting with a good abrasive paper versus like the cheap, shitty, the brands type stuff, it just totally changes the game. Like it makes nobody loves sanding. Like it doesn't make sanding fun, but it makes it suck a lot less. So that's the easy pitch, is just get the abrasives for the material, for the tools that you already have.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. I learned this past weekend, and they make abrasives to fit just about every sander on the market. So that's how you go about getting it in your shop. If you want to get their sanders and stuff, the best way to get those in your shop is you give Surfprep money, they send you tools and stuff.
Crazy how that works.
Yeah. But
Bananas.
yeah, they make abrasives for almost every sander. I mean, I once bought a box of the 3x5 Pro Foam to fit my old Merca 3x5.
Actually, Alex, I was chatting up with Skylar about doing a 90 millimeter and the small Delta for that 90 mil RO90, like the Rotex, the small Rotex. I was like, hey, can you guys make paper for this? Because it's really hard to get. So like we're trying.
Yeah.
One thing I will say, so like obviously the sanders are great. The 3x4 is really nice, really, really nice. If you're looking to maybe upgrade from like a DeWalt or Makita classic, your Home Depot sander or Lowe's sander, as Dan would say, you might want to wait a little bit. That's all I'm gonna say. Just leave it at that. Just wait a little bit, because things are good. They're gonna get gooder. That's all I'm gonna say. That being said, I will give a very real answer with Surfprep paper in my experience, and that is because Surfprep is very well known for doing curves, contours, like things like that, because of the Pro Foam. Pro Foam is their product. It is great. We've seen literally how the butter is made churned, whatever. And it's really cool. They press it, they literally fluff it in a dryer to like get it back to like full thickness too after they press it. The Pro Foam is incredible. I do really like it. It's one of those things where like you need to think of that product differently like you would regular flat paper because of all the contours. Like I've heard people complain about, oh, it rips so quickly or it wears really fast. Like you're using it on an aggressively in one spot and not at all in another, like flat sanding in another. So you have to keep in mind that this is a material that's going to wear differently, you know? So, but I got to say the Pro Foam has really impressed me. The blue colored sandpaper, great for flat work, awful for if you're trying to do contours. It just doesn't work for that. So you got to really educate yourself on the material you're using. The net, the Abra Net competitor that Mirka makes, Dan and I were like blown away by, because our biggest thing with Abra Net is it tears
or
really
any
easily.
net sandpaper.
Any
really.
net sandpaper, you could just rip it right out of the box, rip it easily.
As a matter of fact, like I blew Skylar and Chad's minds when I picked up another competitor's
it was
sandpaper, and I was like, this is why I hate this stuff.
It was a 3M, right?
Well, I wasn't going to say the name.
Well, I'm not like we're trying to be real here.
I picked it
like,
up and I was like, look how easy this tears, and they were like, oh my gosh, we never knew that, because I can't use it because it just tears so fast. So
yeah, so like, you know, the net paper really impressed us because it doesn't rip at all. But it's like you got to know what the sandpaper is good for, because like on these like aggressive curved ice climbing tools that I'm doing, we've tried the blue paper, and I actually bought more of it because I'm like, it sands really well, but it wears really fast. So like it's a trade-off. So like we're basically pulling it off, like Dan, we talked about it. So you pull off the paper and toss it in the trash.
Yep.
Like when it's done, you just toss it. It's fine. It's consumable. But the foam is really where it shines. And Braden's right that the easiest way to get into it is with the paper, because they're really they're at the ground level trying to figure this stuff out. Like the level of detail that Skylar goes into testing these things, man, I was blown away.
It is Gwen Stefani bananas.
He's got a binder of
BANASURFPREP.
Nailed it. Super smooth.
Banana Surfprep.
But yeah, so go pick up a couple sample packs of just the Surfprep, you know, abrasives, and
use code Petrie.
I was gonna say, you get to pick who you like best. You can use code Littlebug, use Petrie, or use code.
Nope, Dan doesn't have one.
Dan doesn't have one. All right, so you get to pick who you like best. Code Littlebug.
We may or may not have an AWP code.
We will eventually
on an AWP code
coming down the cheese pipe.
Hannah. I just got that.
That pre-show callback.
Oh, it's a circle. Full circle.
It's a circle of what?
But yeah, for now, go pick up a couple sample packs of the Surfprep abrasive and just mess around with it, and just understand that you're gonna blow through some of it. You're gonna wear in a different way than you're used to, because it's different. You have to get in a different mindset, just like Pete said, of how you're using it. So go mess with it. Go pick up a couple sample packs. That's going to be the easiest way to step up your sanding game.
Actually, they had that sample pack we got.
They have
sample
packs.
Yes, that thing was actually really dope. It had everything, including those. What's the foamy stuff? What is it called for wiping on like hard wax oils?
Oh, you mean like a
Scotch-Brite pad?
Scotch-Brite pad. Yeah, they have a Scotch-Brite pad that attaches
Scotch-Brite's
to
a proprietary name.
Yeah, it's like saying Kleenex.
I use those pads on my sander to put like Rubio down and stuff.
Yeah, dude, so. I didn't even realize they made them with like a hook and loop attachment on the back. That's so cool. So big fan. But yeah, and you know, we're friends of Surfprep, but we genuinely believe in a brand. And I gotta be honest with you guys, like after seeing the production and the family aspect of it and everything, I gotta say, like I'm really on board with it. I've used a lot of different companies. We've had a lot of different sanding companies come through the podcast too, and we're very impressed with what we saw.
True.
So
code Littlebug.
Code Petrie.
Code
Littlebug. Anyway. Is that it for questions?
That's
We
it for
wrap those
questions.
up?
I think we got the two from Alex, Kimani, and Randall from a very expensive Connecticut.
We got
Well, way to
we
go.
gotta-
Let's wrap this
yeah.
puppy up,
Well, we're over
guys.
2 hours.
We spent an hour and a half just talking about our airplane, our airport
guys.
endeavor.
Our all tell minutes for podcast uploads are like way overboard.
Here is my solemn promise. Next week we will be less than or more than 2 hours. I promise you this.
We will be less than 3 hours.
We will be less than 3 hours.
We'll
next
keep it
week.
under 3 hours.
So
unless you're counting the pre-show, we'll be under 4 hours.
possibly 5 hours.
Well, guys, next week we got to confirm.
We're gonna double check, but we do have a confirmed guest. We're gonna remind them that they are confirmed, and we will see Ashley from Ashwood and Hawk. She's gonna be talking about the 30 in 30, 34, 30,
hottest 30 under 30. Right?
Yeah,
is that what it is?
project that she and Lizzie from House of Timber are working on. So it should be a good episode. Make sure you come and stop on by.
Yeah. Dan, do you have anything else to add?
I want to thank all of our patrons for continuing to support this, whatever you want to call this. We appreciate you guys. If you want to help support us, you can go over to Patreon yourself and join up over there. If you don't want to help us financially, you could always share the show with all your friends and family, word of mouth, stories on Instagram, TikToks, Craigslist ads, Facebook Marketplace posts. Can you imagine, like, if you post a Facebook Marketplace post and
free
like, is this still available?
Free. Is it still available?
Yes, it's still available
Here's a link.
everywhere you get podcasts.
$10. Can you ship?
Yes, everything helps us.
So. We will ship the podcast for free.
We do actually. We ship it thousands of times a week. Not to brag or anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I got.
And one last call out. If you're a VIP patron, check your email, check your spam, because we sent you a request for your address and shirt size because we're sending out the shirts.
Yay.
So, yay.
But it's a trade thing. You have to send us a shirt back. Like just a shirt. Undershirt.
We'll fight over it.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Thunder, Dan. Well, guys, thank you for joining us. We'll see you all next week, and we love you all. Bye, 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 bye.
Bye.
Love you a long time.